the static, late night glow. Flip that dial for the undertow. Coley in my ear like ready for the show. Heartbeats line up with the flow.
I hear you talking, but can you keep pace? I'm out front, you're stuck in place.
This is your ship, I'll take the wheel. Push that throttle, make it real.
Count it down, now 3, 2, 1. Pass the map where the roads are done.
Step by step, leave the known. Every shout shakes the throne. Turn into the unknown.
Into the unknown.
ColeyUFO, turn it up through my bones.
SNX radio, everybody sing along.
Take the journey to the unknown.
Journey into the unknown. Into the unknown. Hands up high, feel the floor as it grows. SNX radio, everybody sing along.
Take the journey into the
You say you're ready, I doubt that claim. This beat's a beast, can you ride the flame?
Every kick hits harder than your pride. Prove you can stand, no step aside.
I don't flinch, I ball mid-flight. Switch up the pattern, fit day to night.
You bring the spark, I bring the storm. Together we bend the norm.
Feel that tremor under your feet.
Breath gets short as the build repeats.
Step by step, lose control.
Every drop shakes your soul. Take the journey. Left, right, lock in, don't fight. Pop down, feel it shake the ground.
If you're scared, say it now.
Too late, hear the crowd.
UFO, SNX loud, turn this moment to a vow.
Take the journey. Take the journey.
I know. We don't go
Journey to the We don't go home.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of SNX Radio. I'm Coley, also known as ColeyUFO, and I don't know why I'm freezing there for a second, but it's so nice to see everyone today and have you in on a weekend afternoon. Hope that you're enjoying I guess here in the United States, we have the nice weather. I don't know what Australia is like right now, but I guess you guys can tell me in the comments, but it's great to see everybody. I just want to start off. It's so weird without Pop's here, but I think he's gone today. So he's not going to be here. It's just me. Anyway, but it's great to see everybody in the chat going. We have a great guest for today. I'm really excited about. He actually knows Jay Austin, who joins us on Thursday. So yeah, it's very exciting. I just want to say real quick, hey, Andrew, it's great to see you. And everybody too, I'm really excited. We're scheduling a lot of people from the chat on Fridays. I'm kind of trying to keep that open for all of you. So yeah, it's going to be really cool. We kind of get to meet one another and connect. That'd be great. Valdo, it's great to see you. Skitter, it's nice to see you. Diane, thank you. And thank you, Diane, we love with the kickoff on the ColeyUFO and everything. It beat me up. It's been a lot of fun. That's really cool. Noel, it's great to see you back. Steven, great to have you. It's awesome. Amy girl, it's always nice to have you. You're always leaving such beautiful things in the chat. And Standing Stones, great to see you again. Let me see. Oh, Laura, yeah, I got your email too, by the way. We got you set for coming on. She'll be on the following Friday, I believe. I'll have to double check that, but maybe I got that wrong. I know that actually I think Juan will be on this Friday, and then I'll get the schedule out for everybody else, and I'll let you guys know. So it's really cool. You guys can get in here and support one another, and most of you who have wrenches, you can protect one another, because we don't, make sure too, because Pop's like no nonsense. If there's anything going on in chat, take it on over it and just cut it, because we're not going to deal with that. Lori, it's great to see you, Lori Ladd. She's a part of Pop's Cryptid panel. They're going to be on this Monday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with Cindy Bailey and, of course, Gary Spikes, Senior Pop. So that'll be awesome. They always bring it, and they have the Sisters of the Moon. So that's awesome. Diana, actually, this is great. It's catching on. I love it. I love it. So yeah, we have ColeyUFO, Beam Me Up, My Starfire, Light It Up, and Jay Austin, Break It Down, and Gary Pop's Break It Up, because he breaks up the chat. So that's great. Roger, it's great to see you. Roger's awesome. Go over, if you haven't, to Untold Network and go and give them a subscribe and watch Squatch and Holler. And he's got other great stuff too. Roger, you're welcome to go ahead and drop that. You get a wrench. Pops isn't here to go ahead. He kind of spoiled us. So Mad Pax, it's great to see you, and everybody else that joins. So we're going to go ahead and get into this today. Like I said, I'm really excited. I always like to support experiencers when they come on. And then too, with Jay Austin, he brings something really cool to this channel. And like I said, they know one another really well. So it's like a family. So today, basically, we have it's Battlefield to Beyond the Veil, former British Sergeant Gerald M. Pratt. We're going into like a lot of stuff. He's got a great book. We're going to go into out-of-body experiences. He was a distinguished 25-year military career in railway operations and infrastructure over in the British UK. So he's from Liverpool. I mean, we can go ahead, and he's got great books out, and he's going to go through a lot of stuff. And like I said, I'm really excited. I'm really excited for this one. So without further ado, we're kind of talking backstage, and I got into the conversation. He's like, well, we'll wait till we get on. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and there we go. What do you like to be called? I did not get a chance to ask you behind stage. Do you go?
First of all, just check. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you. Are you able to hear me? Hopefully.
I am. Well, that's a good
start. If I just did all of that, I was like, oh gosh.
Yeah. Well, I like to be called Jed.
Jed.
Or Gerard. I mean, Americans normally go for Gerard, but in the UK it's Gerard. But let's just call it Jed. That's what most people call me, so we'll go with that.
I am from the Midwest, so we accentuate our vowels, so it's like the
yeah. I did think that.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes Jay will look at me. I'm like, because we talk a lot faster. I said, "You didn't understand what I said, did you?" He's like,
well, it can be difficult at times, but no, it's pretty cool actually. So yeah, for the audience, I'm Jed. I'm from Liverpool in the UK. And the first book I brought out, which was last year in September, was you got it slightly wrong. It's The Astral Traveller, Guardians of Light and Shadow. So this is the book I brought out in September last year, and I've gone straight into writing another book. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I can change it really quickly. Sometimes I use the AI assistants, but I can. It's right here in front of me if you want me to.
Yeah. So it's The Astral Traveller, Guardians of Light and Shadow.
Okay.
So a bit on the basis that some guardians are of the light and some guardians are of the shadow.
Instead of versus the shadow.
No, guardians of light and shadow.
Light and okay. Sorry.
Yeah. So The Astral Traveller, Guardians of Light and Shadow.
Jeez.
But one of the things, I went straight from writing that book into the follow-up book, which is the UFO Protocol, which will be released in September probably, or I'm hoping for early August, but you never quite know. So that's going to be the UFO protocol into the Eye of
Oh, cool.
Gnosis. The problem was I couldn't mix a lot of ufology into the first book, because when you start mixing occultism with spiritualism and ufology, it can be a bit of an issue, you know.
Yes.
So I decided to divide the books into two. But the book came on the back of years of astral projection and communication with entities, with extraterrestrials and various other beings. So I decided to write the book because, you know, it's so easy to forget your experiences. And while everything was so vivid in my mind, and I had my journals, I wanted to get it on paper. So I decided to go for it.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, like one of the issues in writing, you go quite left brain when you're writing. So, you know, your experiences decreased, but I think it was worth the worth doing it, really. So yeah, after years of experiences, I decided to get it done. So what I really want to do is just get this second book out, and I can get back into me OBEs and communication and go full on again.
Oh, so you're saying you kind of have to go one or the other. Otherwise,
I think
that
so.
makes sense.
I mean, I have had a lot of it. They've showed me a lot of the pages during Altered States and what to write. But I think as I got deeper into the first book, I had to I was thinking about the writing so much that I couldn't concentrate on the OBEs as much. So not that sometimes you don't have to concentrate on the OBEs, they'll happen naturally, but I just found a decrease in the communication with the writing, because you've got to start thinking a lot, haven't you, about how you're going to structure the book and all those things. Yeah. So
well, that makes
it's one of
sense
them
now
things.
that you say that. Like I was thinking about it. I'm like, that does make sense.
It pulls you away from the modalities that you. But I'm saying that, I mean, I also attend a spiritual circle, and you know the messages still flow there. So you know we do like a seraphic meditation, which is 30 minutes in complete darkness. We do that once a week, and I
Oh,
get
cool.
messages, and other people give me messages. So it's I mean, we have like nights where we have the trance mediums in, and we do like you ask questions and things. And they can normally tell you. So the funny thing is, which I'll get onto later, some of the things which I was getting told by astral entities, ethereal entities, I was being told by the mediums, is cross-referencing the information. So, you know, I don't take anything by half chance. You know, you meet people and give you an example. I remember I was in a crop circle in the Vale of Pewsey once, and a woman come over and she said to me, "I'm a star seed." I mean, she had purple hair. Not that that's an issue, but
Oh my
that's
God.
fine. But you know,
I know
she
what you're
said, "I'm a
saying, though. Yeah.
When I said, well, how do you know you're a star seed?" And she said, "A medium told me." So straight away, I have to. I mean, there's the comment about extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, but I mean, I think some evidence, but if it's evidence for yourself, it doesn't have to be evidence from other people, but you've got to check things and think about, because there's so many spirits or spirit guides. I mean, with names like Nefertiti and Cleopatra, I say to people, "What's your guide's name?" It's normally someone with a grandiose title, isn't it?
I
But
grew up
whilst
a
I've been,
medium, so I know that they like
yeah,
how,
yeah,
it's like I see it
yeah,
so much sensationalized and it drives me crazy. And I'm like,
but they're not always who they say
it's
they
like you
are,
look
you
for a
see.
name and
But if I said to you, your guide isn't who they say they are, you'd probably get angry with me. Not that I'm saying
no,
your guide isn't, but
I'm into that point. It's a
but
journey. You start off where you
yeah,
think everything is good, you assume everything's good, and then you get to the point you have to break it down. Like, hey, how
yeah,
much of this is what or trickery? Because there's a trickery as a part of it. To think that doesn't
yeah,
exist would be so naive.
yeah. There was a book by a guy called Hansen called The Trickster and the
Mm.
Paranormal, I think it was called. Now, in my, I've actually been out the body, and I've been with entities, with spirits who've told me what they do and how they use masks and things. And how they shapeshift as well. I can't shapeshift, by the way, and if I could, I'd look a lot better looking than I did right now. But but no, shapeshifting is something they do. So if they're going to do shapeshifting, then surely if a medium is just listening to a voice, how do they know that that voice is who they say they are? So
Hmm.
it's not a fair fact. I know for the fact that they do tell lies, and sometimes it's not such a bad thing. I mean, if your guide told you that his name was Jim, and he lived up the road, and you probably wouldn't give it as much weight as if they told you that they were give a biblical name, but so they do tend to stretch the imagination into believing that there's someone they're not sometimes.
I've never gotten a name. Or do you ask for? I
Yeah.
guess I've never.
Well, in the group I'm in, they say you're not supposed to ask. When you're ready, they will give you a name. But I think a name's just an identity for something, isn't it? It doesn't mean they are who they say they are. And that
Yeah, I
sounds
guess
really
that
bad,
doesn't
doesn't it?
change things. Yeah,
That
you're right.
sounds like there's a lot of trickery going on, but not necessarily. Um, nothing's always as it seems. That's one of the things you learn
Ah,
when you start
yes.
going and seeing the entities and the beings. It's quite weird.
Wow. Yeah, you're right. No, that's so true too. Because how do you get to a point? How do you check it? How do you? Because I ask questions. But I know, I guess from
Mm.
when I was a child, how they come. If anything's like kind of off, or I go more by feeling,
Mm.
I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, that wasn't my strongest point, really. I mean, communication was pretty good. I did start getting, well, we'll get onto this, but
Mhm.
after I learned to astral travel, that's when I started getting voices. First of all, they call your name and in the daytime. So you have a lot of daytime communication, and it's sort of, for me, it phased into the night. So I'd wake up and I'd get like, 2 or 3 sentences or whatever. But normally, if you ask the question, before you go to bed, then normally you'll get an answer invariably. And it may not be the full answer that you require. Because one of the questions I was always asking was, can you explain the UFO phenomenon to me? Who are they? And all these kind of questions. And eventually they told me they're already us. And I thought, what's that supposed to mean? And that's
Mm.
where I've gone in chapter 12 of the second book about who they really are,
Mm.
the masks.
Yes.
Um, well, I'm not going to go into that just yet.
Yeah, because you
But
tie the occult in it, so you go down. I know exactly. Yeah,
yeah, I mean,
this is
I
a
don't
really
even think
cool.
I don't think I'm an occultist,
N-
really
You,
speaking. But then when I look at it, like attending these circles and direct communication and astral projection is an occultist thing. It was developed by the Theosophical Society. I think it was 1890 by Madame Blavatsky. She coined the term. It is very, very occultist. And I didn't realize. And then I turn around and I'm doing rituals and things. And so I guess I am, But I actually joined the Ordo Templi Orientis to basically find out more about Crowley and what went on with Jack Parsons,
yeah.
and before Roswell with the Babylon working and those kind of things. Because I don't know if you know, but he was connected with Ron Hubbard, who brought out Scientology.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
yes.
it's
Yeah.
all connected. I just
I
wanted
know.
to know more for the because that's one of the chapters in the book.
All the remote
Uh,
viewing comes from Scientology, like Dr. Hale put off. I
that's right.
mean,
Most of
yeah.
them were Scientologists put
Yes.
off. I think Ingo Swann was one as well. He was
They recruited him. I think that
was he a
was.
level 8 Scientologist? I'm not too sure, but that's why they recruited him, because in Scientology they do something. They don't call it an out of body experience. They call it exteriorization, right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
this is
Then the
where
E meter.
no, it's not the e-meter. That's called something else. But
Okay.
that they do, they're allowed to have a form of out of body experience called extra. I can't even get my words out. Extra.
Don't worry.
What did I
I
just say? I've
get
already
you. I
said
get.
it.
I
Extra.
know.
Extra. Oh, anyway,
Welcome to my world.
you get
Yes.
you get what I mean. Extra. But they go out of body, and the aliens, they class them as aliens that live within them are free to go and do their thing. That's part of it. There's a lot more to it than that, obviously. But do you know who Ron Hubbard got all this from? For Scientology.
He didn't. It wasn't it based. Well, now I don't know. This is the story we got off of a sci-fi book or something, right?
Well, partly, but he learnt a lot from Crowley.
Yes. Yes, he did.
Yeah, because he was working with Ron. Ron Hubbard was working with Jack Parsons,
Mm-hmm.
and Jack Parsons ran the Pasadena Lodge for the
Yeah.
OTO.
Oh, yeah.
So they were doing the rituals and things. So this is where Ron Hubbard got a lot of his because obviously to Parsons, Crowley was Parsons' idol, you see. So Crowley learned all what he learned from. So Parsons learned from Crowley, and Ron Hubbard took a lot from Parsons. It's kind of
Yes. No, but they all he's so embedded into all of this. Like you go to even I mean, all of it. He's so embedded in all of it.
But where I want to go with this is in the Astral Traveler book, I did bring Crowley into the book quite a lot because Crowley was from the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. Before he was with Theosophy before that, with Madame Blavatsky. I think that was 1895 or something. And about 1902, he joined the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. But they taught astral projection as a higher order. So the lower order would have been stuff like tarot and things like that. And the higher order was scrying and astral projection. So Crowley knew a lot about astral projection, but I never quite found out how good he was at doing it. He wrote about it a lot, the chakras and all these, people talk about the chakras and past lives. That's all theosophy, and theosophy is occultism. So people don't really understand that they are occultists.
Yes. I know.
That's the funny thing.
They're like, well, I do this, and I'm like, well, I guess you put a name to it. Yeah.
But I just, I don't like the labels really. To me, it makes sense to communicate directly. And why cut the middleman? You got to cut the middleman out. I mean, this is something that Ingo Swann spoke about a lot, because we're all in reality boxes, and we're brought up on our reality box, and they want to keep us in these parameters because they don't want people to sort of have the power that they've already been born with, which is to see beyond the veil. Because once you can see beyond the veil, they can't control you no more.
Exactly.
And they want to control you. So they're wealthy, and you're, I mean, I'm not saying it's bad to go out and work 12 hours a day or whatever, but they don't want people having their own power. This is what I've come to learn. So
they can't control that. You're right. That's where they lose their control right there.
This is something Ingo Swann spoke about quite a lot, actually, but that's I think that's true. I think we're all either born with something, or it could be genetic. It could be something that comes from, our control systems that are blocking it out, that we've all got it. I don't know for sure. What I do know is, I mean, I could teach someone astral projection, but that doesn't mean to say that these entities and the guides are going to come in and do for me, or do for them what they've done for me. I can teach someone lucid dreaming. That's very subjective. I'm not saying it's not useful. It's fantastic, lucid dreaming, but it's very subjective. One of the things we find with lucid dreaming is the dream characters are very easy to control, because they're part of your mind. But with astral projection, as soon as you go to that next level, they're the ones they're very intelligent and commanding sort of thing. And you've got to learn to basically, put yourself about a bit, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But it was something the other day. I mean, Preston Denneter I work with quite a lot.
He's the one that taught me how to get out of the way that I told you behind the stage. Yeah. He has a whole PDF
brilliant, on it. Because Preston, he's writing. I think he's writing the forward for the new book. But he done me a really good blurb for the other book, and I've been on his channel a few times.
Oh, I have too. The Light Gate.
Yeah. But he's just done Area 52, is it called, or something like that? The show. I think it's called Area 52.
I don't know. I saw him post something, but I didn't get to see what it was.
I've seen the first part of it, but he mentioned moving in the astral. You move by the mind, and you don't. It's not something. When you first get out the body, you'd be like swimming around trying to move. It's all mind control. How you move. You got to think it, sort of thing.
To get there, yeah.
You think like a spirit, but you are one. But what I mean is, you've got to think like the spirit when you're out the body.
Give me an example.
And if you want to move or a switch or move a light, you've got to think. If you want to go somewhere, you've got to imagine the location.
Okay, yes.
And think about what it looks like, what it feels like. Use emotion from within as well, if you want things to happen. And they create ripples in the frequency. So I call it astral magic in the first book. I think that's chapter 10 or something. But astral magic is a way of making change in the physical by doing things in the astral, or you can make changes or in the astral by doing things in the physical. So it's about creating ripples and frequencies. But you've got to
Okay,
learn
if I
everything to
wanted
be,
to,
yeah,
I have to like, because this I'm trying to wrap my
yeah,
mind around because I'm really into this. So if I
mm,
wanted to like, let's say, change like something about myself or a pattern that I was doing, so I
yeah.
could do it from the astral level,
That's
right? What would I
called, if you want to
change?
change things, that's called patterning. So you've got to think like that you've already got this item and that that you're worthy of
The
this,
law
you
of
know.
attraction then.
Yeah. I mean, we do things during the meditation where we come around with a candle and I say to people, if you want you ask them, say, for a new car or something, you imagine you've got it, but then bring a bit of emotion to it as well and things. It's all about
Like
the mind.
excitement, like I'm going to get in my new
Yeah,
car or
everything's frequency and I haven't mastered this fully, by the way. When you're in the astral, I mean, I'll just go to the spirit of this and I'll ask for something, or I'm not greedy. I don't want anything more than I'm due because they know who we all are. They read us all. Um, but you don't want to be going round and being pushy. Like I call it respect and authority. So whatever entity I'm communicating with, even if they are dark, I'll give them the respect and stuff, but you have got to control your space. And I've had offers, and sometimes you have to stand your ground they want you to worship them. They won't worship a lot of these entities. They want you to
yes, they
control.
do. They want you
Um,
to they right to put them in that big light. Yes.
I
Wow,
mean,
that's good.
I've been to the lower and the higher astral levels, and the lower levels can be quite, seductive.
Murky.
Um, well, yeah, but it just depends on how you are at the time. But the higher levels are sort of euphoric and oneness and things. But there's such a difference, and sometimes you don't know where you're going.
Just so sure do. You don't know
Well,
what kind of level of weird,
well,
I
I
don't
can
know,
get onto.
strangeness you're going to encounter.
No, I can get onto astral portals. So if you, what has started happening for me is dropping into portals which open behind the head. I can't even remember how these portals started, but I've started learning to take a backflip into this portal behind, and you could be in the portal for like maybe a minute at the most. You see colors, golds, greens, and then you start
Mm.
imagining who you want to go and visit. So whether it's a guide or a deceased loved one, and you really, really have to concentrate on that person, and then you'll come through. And I've visited deceased loved ones for people to get asked questions. I had to go to my granddad to get information for my cousin, and I extracted the information that she wanted and then left. So you can intrude on them, but depends how good a traveler you become. I think you need
Okay.
spirits, you need help. The spirits will help
Hmm.
you. There's times
That's
I've
what I
been pulled
said
out.
too. I said, when I
Yeah.
get there, I get to a certain point and I need help. I just don't know how to get it.
Well, you got, they'll take you by the hand. There's things I can teach you. Like one of the things I done was called sitting with spirits. So you go into a meditation and leave your hand out, and you'll just let them come closer and closer. And then one day I felt my hand being held, and you're
Oh,
lying there, and
okay.
you're lying there, and you're sort of, I would say, 60% you're normal, and because you're in a trance state, the in
Yeah.
between state, a little bit of hypnagogic imagery,
Oh,
and
do you know, can I tell you something really quickly? When I was first
yeah.
discovered I could see spirits, I was very young, probably like
Mm,
maybe four-ish. And I remember something holding my hand. And they said
mm.
that it just gave me the instant chills. And then when it left, the fan, like everything went off around it, off and then
Yeah,
like
you were
on.
telling Bob about that, weren't you? Because I watched your
Yes.
interview or half of it, and I remember you told Bob about the fan, the electrical went off, and the power was still on, and you'd
Yes.
felt someone. Yeah, this once you start astral traveling, you'll be holding your hand all the time. There's times I've been
Oh,
holding me over the portal, and I've felt two hands holding me, and then it just dropped me, and I dropped like a torpedo into the portal. And there was one
wow.
time the portal never opened, and I said, "Put me down, for God's sake, put me down." And then hands will put you down. You just seen two hands going around the bedroom. It's weird.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. And you have
then
to
there was
work on
another.
staying calm, right? Is that a part of it?
well, you will be calm because you go through a big training process for all this. It didn't just
That's where
happen
I
overnight.
learned to keep your
You
cool.
learn to
Yeah.
deal with it. Yeah. I mean, when you see things, you learn not to. At first, you'll be back in your body. You'll panic, but over time, you'll learn to be a bit cool about it, sort of thing. But
Yes.
I remember one time, one of the best ones I had was I think I'd been for a little fly around, and because you're connected by what we call a silver cord, you can't see it, the silver cord.
Hmm.
It creates the energy from the physical. So when I spoke before to you
Is
about
that what
like
it does?
separation,
So it's
yeah.
not
So
tethering
but
you to
this,
like a place,
no,
right?
no, no, no. No,
Oh, okay.
when you're phasing, and this is like the traveling clairvoyance, that's mind
Mhm.
traveling. So you're sat in meditation, like I do in the meditation, and I'll find myself. I was on the moon the other week looking at a robot in a moon base, and then there's back, but I
Mhm.
wasn't out of the body as such. You're traveling clairvoyance, which is like
That's where I
remote
told
viewing.
you as the orb, right? You
Yeah,
said you go
yeah,
and you okay, I
yeah.
understand that.
But with separation, so you're connected via an energy tether. So
Yes.
how
I didn't
your
know it was for
body is.
energy. I thought it so you came back to the right place. That's what they
Well,
always
no,
said.
because your bioenergy field of your body is providing the substance. So
That
the
makes more
bioenergy field
sense.
creates the double. The astral double is created by the body, right? So I've seen my double
Mhm.
floating above me. So I'm looking up at, and I thought it was a spirit at first, but it was a half-formed double. And then eventually it was me smiling back at myself. And imagine
Oh,
that you're
wow.
lying there and you're smart, someone's floating above it. That's the actual, it was waiting for me to inhabit the body.
Mm.
Now, your
What
astral body will always look very youthful, like how you probably your subconscious thinks it looks. That's what normally happens. But on this one
yeah.
occasion, I'd had a little fly around, and my energy felt quite depleted. I was trying to break the atmosphere, I think I was, but I can't
How
remember
do
what.
you see yourself? I've only
Well,
had this happen
I
once in my
see
ET experience. Like I
myself
could hear
about, I would say I see myself about 35 now, maybe. Quite handsome and stuff.
no, no, no. How do you see
Well,
yourself in that level? Like how? Because I
oh,
know I've
all right,
separated one
all
time to
right.
view it, but
Well, I only know because I mean, you can look at your arms and things, um, but I'm looking in the mirror. I've looked in mirrors
Mhm.
before. I advise people to have a to-do list, like an
Yeah.
experiment
Okay. Cool.
list in the book. So one of the experiments is to find a mirror
Mm.
and look in the mirror. And some people see a reptilian and things.
Oh.
I seen the first time I seen a young boy, a young me, looking back at myself. It can
Oh,
be quite
wow.
it can be
Yeah.
quite emotional.
Wow.
And then
Yeah.
the young me was looking like this in the mirror, and I'm looking.
Ooh.
It can be very odd. But no, I've seen myself in the mirror because I'm hearing these stories about like people seeing reptilians in the mirror. I was a bit scared looking in the mirror. But then there's other experiments like getting stuck
Okay,
in
that would
walls.
be just I'm just trying to sit with this for a
Yeah,
second. Can you imagine
yeah.
looking in the mirror and then do you look? Do you not look? I mean, you said like, how does that what are you looking
Well,
at? I
well,
don't know.
you just have to go with it, don't you? If it is what it is.
Mhm.
Um, but I've had a lot of
Gosh, okay.
experiments. Like there was one time, I'll get back onto the tether in a minute. But
Okay.
one time I asked for God. That's another one of the things I advise anyone I teach to do. That's a big one, isn't it? What you're going to see, like, um,
Yeah.
but
You
and
know what
this
I used to
once.
do throughout the day? I would make a list. I'd be like, okay, now remember if it was hot, cold. I didn't know for sure, like, this I did with the
Well, I call
ET
that your
experiences.
OBE plan. I always recommend to have an OBE plan, a plan of action. And part of
I
my
would
plan,
repeat over and over throughout the
yeah, you
day
have
so
a
I'd
prayer of
remember.
dismissal. I always ask people to try and learn the prayer of dismissal. So
Mhm.
if things go down and don't go well, you've always got a prayer of dismissal to dismiss an entity. If you are in trouble, or you can always ask for a guide, but you've got to
Yeah,
try and
because
do
you're
it
kinda
on
out
your
there
own.
by yourself. Now that you say this, it's like,
No, they're watching
you're
all the
you're out
time. They are
there.
watching. You're not really
Yeah.
on your own. Your guides will be watching, but you can always
I'm
ask for a guide if you chicken out. But um,
I might go with the guide first.
if you
But
if
this
you
is
come
so interesting, yeah.
if you do come up against, I have come up against. I've been hit a couple of times and attacked. There's other times I've had to bluff my way out of things or stop people being bullied in certain dimensions. By telling them, like, do you know who I work with and stuff, and because everybody works with somebody. like there's
Yes.
pacts and agreements and things, and I work with beings and things out there. We've cut deals and things. Not that I really know what
You do gotta have you
it's
do have to cut deals. I'm not, you know what? It's a trade-off. I've always said this and people don't understand. And I'm like,
well,
I sometimes hold them hostage. I'm like, if you want to complete your mission, this is what, and I will
yeah.
repeat, and I swear to God, for whatever
Well,
reason.
I work with before I go on to that, I'll just tell you,
Hmm.
yeah, the energy body. So the tether, you're tethered to the body. So you can always get so if anything happens, you're straight back in the body, basically. People are scared about being out, but it's harder to stay
Like
out
a
than it is to
bungee
get put,
cord, I think, kind of.
sort of thing, yeah. But on one occasion I was back in the body and I just put my hand out and I said, for God's sake, I said, just take me. Just take me.
Yeah.
And then I remember seeing these arms coming, and he wrapped himself around me and lifted me off. And I was actually taken to, they call it the third heaven, which is one of the dimensions where a lot of our deceased loved ones go to. So they actually took me there. I mean, I've been there before, but they just actually carried me up there. And so I'm now getting carried. You're in someone's arms, and it was a female. I thought, this is my grandmother. I could just about hear what she was saying. I thought, just go with this, and that's where I'm like, just go with it, whatever it is, just go with it. And
Yeah,
when we
you have to
arrived,
tell yourself and be prepared for levels. I feel like they try and put things. I
oh,
remember this like cryptid lady coming. I was like, "What is
oh,
this?" But they kind of try and put it. It seems like to keep you trapped.
oh, there's a lot of teaching going on. There's a lot of maybe karmic things. I don't know, but there's a lot of trying to teach us in this. I think one lifetime you could progress quite a lot. I mean, I'm on 7.5. I'm on 760 now. So they've told me. I mean, maybe they've lied to me. I don't know. But I do remember some past lives. Well, not the past lives. I remember coming into this life, um,
Oh, I've
which they
experienced
showed
past
me.
ones. Yeah, it's interesting how it
Yeah, but
all
I've asked not.
connects.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've asked not to know about the past lives because I've got enough going on with this one.
Oh
Um,
God, that's
but when I
true.
asked the number, I got
Yeah.
told 759, so that would make this 760. Um, so anyway, yeah, but so visiting, getting taken to, they will take you to that higher dimension. They can physically, well, I say physically, they can take you, come and get you. But again, it's about allowing, and when the time's right and the frequency and everything's got to match at the right time.
You
And I've
got to
actually been
really get
told.
well with
Yeah.
yourself
Well,
before
I've
you
been
go there
told
to
now I've got to get me.
trust,
I've
you
got
know?
to. I've got to improve my health. They told me I've done phase one. There's phase two and phase three, but I've got to get my body sorted out. So I need to get down the gym or something. I don't know, because the
Hmm.
physical body is quite important for this work.
Yes, it is.
And I've let myself go a bit since I've been writing the book. So I need to get back
Takes a
down the
lot of
gym, and
energy. A lot of energy.
yeah, I need to get fit, I think. Yeah. So
You
anyway.
feel better. It's just a part of that
Yeah.
whole,
Well, that's what. So they said for to get onto phase two, I need to get. They didn't specifically use the word fit, which they wouldn't do. They used there's another word they use. Well, anyway, I need to improve my health. Um, but I mean, we haven't really got into how all this happened. So I was on to the
hmm
experiments, but before I go any, for the biggest experiment, which I loved, was getting stuck in walls, because one of the things that we all have, which is it's quite similar. If you ask any OBE, whether it be Preston Dennett or and his first book was called what was it called? Oh no, come see it. But anyway, he's had a good OBE book. He wrote a good
Yes.
OBE book, Preston Dennett. And
He's got so many books. I read the PDF.
oh, I
I'm
know,
not gonna
hasn't he
lie.
got 25 books?
Yeah, he's got like a library, so I haven't gotten
I
to them
know.
all, but
I don't know how he does it, to be quite.
I don't
But
either.
but anyway, getting stuck in walls, or if you go through a window, you'll hear a whooshing sound. We all hear it. And going through a wall is the same for all of us. But then we are all the same, I suppose, aren't we, in many ways? Every human's got the same,
Makeup,
well,
like
we're all
light.
made of the same stuff, aren't we? So um, going through a wall, I thought I'll get stuck. So I got stuck in this wall and yeah,
Because you
shout for
thought it
help.
or believed it,
But I
right?
thought I've been stuck before and I'd shouted for help and someone come to rescue me. So then the next time I thought, I wonder how long it will. So I'm in the wall, and my hand is out of the wall, and I'm shouting, "Help! Help!" And I'm counting how long will it take for a spirit in your own home as you hear, because you can't see them sometimes. And about 15 seconds, and then your hand gets taken, and you take you through, and and then you start talking. You want to know more about them, but a lot of the time they don't want to converse and tell you. They just come to help you and they're gone. But it's just there's a couple of experiments that you do, which I advise people to do. Calling out for God or getting stuck in a wall and seeing what happens and shouting for help. Or there's tons of stuff, but yeah, there's a couple there. Yeah, this thing didn't just start overnight, though. It was. Do you want me to go into how this began for me?
I'd like to know that because you're an
Okay.
experiencer. I always want to know the story.
Well, we'll get on to that. I have been on board the craft.
Yes, me too. It's quite a trip.
We'll get on to the interesting bit in a minute. But so for me as a child, I did have apocalyptic visions. So I'm not trying to scare anybody here, but I had a number of visions where I was humanity was wiped out and gone. This happened about several times, and I was only about 5 or 6, and I'd be sat crying in the hall. But I didn't. I was having OBEs. I didn't realize I was in the astral body, and it was a feeling like I would like humanity, and this happened regularly. Now you're probably thinking now
because humanity would be gone, but you were actually in because it was gone in a different body. Okay.
Something like that. I don't really know, but it was a terrible emotional feeling.
Yes.
But then we come back to like a lot of young abductees are showing these visions, aren't they?
Yes.
And that was 78, probably 77, 70. There was a lot going on back then.
You did 77 lifetimes here in a body? Is that what you're saying?
1977.
Oh. I was like, oh my gosh, they don't come back again. Let's get out of here. Yeah.
So I had these visions, and then probably about a year after that, I seen a craft, a disc-shaped metallic craft, and it was really low. And you often think, well, I didn't really think about it because you think, oh, it was just there, don't you? But now in the studies that I've done, if you've seen a craft at 3 a.m. outside your bedroom window, or if you're looking at them jumping around like seance trumpets in the air, they're there for you. What are they there
people
for?
Don't realize that. I know you call them in, they bring it. It's a whole show. Yes.
Yeah, because it's I call it the theater of the impossible. What are they actually doing? Like you've got people looking at 5 jumping about and little show for you, or
well, they don't want. They want you to feel like you have to have a complete ego death, but I feel like that is not the case at all, because you join in like what I call kind of like an you lock in. It's like an intersubjective where you're experiencing it. It's experiencing you. You can be the center of the universe, like in our own way. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I've been speaking to Dr. Joseph Birks, and he's signed off my work in the second book. For his VEM model, virtual experiencer model. I don't know if you've heard of it, the virtual experiencer model.
I feel like that's what we're having. Yeah, I don't know.
No, well, there's the VE1, the VE2, and the VE3. So I'm in the CE5. I don't know if I told you, I am in the CE5 movement. I'm a CE5 group leader as such.
I didn't know I was using a lot of the CE5, but that's like James Gillian is the protocols.
Yeah.
You kind of figure out what works and what doesn't work. And I was just recently talking to someone. I was like, oh, so this is actually, and they're like, you were doing that? And I said, yeah, it worked.
You were doing it on your own when you're alone. Yeah, that's fine.
I didn't know.
Yeah, well, but we'll get on to that. But the VE1 was a virtual sighting. So the VE1, you will, I might see the craft and you might not. Or we might see 2 different things. So what this, and the one thing that we're seeing, which they call a luminous soft object, which was a term brought in by a guy called John Keel, and he wrote this in Operation Trojan Horse.
Yes.
I don't know if you know the book. And he spoke about luminous soft. He coined the term ultra terrestrials.
Yeah.
But the luminous soft object was the craft that most people see before it turns into something else. So once the craft has made a conscious connection with you, it then checks the part spin of your mind and then alters into something suitable for you. This is the theory. Now, don't shoot the messenger here. I'm just, saying. I think
I'm not responsible. I'm just telling you an option. People get mad. I'm like, you need to choose for yourself.
I have experienced this because I had I'm jumping the gun a bit here, but I think 2023, I had an OBE and an entity came and he said, right, today is a great day for you to take a walk in the woods. And I woke up straight after this message and I said to my wife, right, I've just been told about, going in the woods today. And she said, well, okay, let's go. We'll go. It was a sunny day. I think it was actually might have been a November day, but it was actually quite sunny. It shouldn't be that sunny. And we went to a little sand dune by the woods, but we live by the sea. And she said, I'd love to see a UFO. She said, I'd love to see a UFO. And she'd never really said that before because she's not really that interested. So I put
She's
the
gonna see one now.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, yeah. I said, okay. So I put the meditation on, the C5 med, and we've done a little meditation. We call it coherent thought sequencing. So this is where we vector in the craft. So I explained what to do. So
Yeah.
you show them your location and
Yeah.
you ask them.
See, I always showed it from the bigger and then I filtered
Yeah.
it down to the smaller, just in my head. That's how you give them directions. So yeah.
But you got to give them the directions and also add a bit of emotion. But before I go into that, one of the things that we have to remember is with C5, you have to apply love and oneness, and because people are going around saying, "Oh, these are demons, they're this and they're that." Well, all I can say is if the only way to communicate with these entities is by applying oneness, love, and everything else. You've got to give it all you've got. So
I asked somebody one time, it was the best answer. I said, how
Yeah.
do you do that? How do you love everyone? And so they said, because I know you have to get there. And I was like,
well, you
wow.
could trick it.
That's what
but,
he
you know,
does. Yeah.
It's supposed to come natural, by the way.
Oh, sorry.
I always question myself and think, and I know I'm digressing, but I sit out on my land and think, am I really a nice pet? And I'm thinking, I am really, so I think you've got, no, because you're trying to weigh it up, aren't you?
Yeah.
But you
I
can.
call it the Martha Stewart smile. You may not
Yeah.
want to smile, but it's like you do it until you're smiling. Okay. Like it works.
Well, there is ways in which you can apply these things, but anyway, on this day we done it and we stood up on the dune and a luminous soft object showed up. Now we were staring at this object and I said, my vision is altered. I said, I'm seeing pixels, like a pixelated scenario. And my wife Margaret said, I'm seeing the same as you. So she was affected as well by the vision. So we were both, the craft had made a conscious connection and our vision was totally altered. And then when we looked away and the craft had gone, it returned to normal. So that is what we're talking about by a VE1, a virtual experience of the first kind, where your visual cortex is hacked, but I don't think it's hacked in a negative way. See, what I say is, they don't always want physical contact. Sometimes a non-physical contact can be much more suitable for them and safer for them and safer for you. If they were to come and take you in the craft and go and drop you off somewhere, and it can be quite abrasive, it can be quite intrusive, and maybe you won't be able to live a normal life again. So I think these virtual experiences, because they're masters of consciousness, these beings, but people look at it quite negatively. Oh, they're messing with people's minds.
Yeah.
But it's just something that's better for you in many cases. I find. So that's my theory anyway, because it may be, what I always say to people and anyone who's watching is, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I'll always hold my hand up and I'll be the first to get the beers in, if I'm wrong. It's
how are you gonna know? Yeah, I said you have a hypothesis and you test it and you prove yourself right.
Yeah, and I always test things. I said in the beginning of this interview, I don't believe, and evidence is something for yourself. So it's not just, I'm not after proving anything to anybody, but for myself, I do test things and I sit in divine voice sessions and I listen to what they're saying and I start thinking, and you're weighing it up. And if I give a message and somebody else gives this, gives the same message to someone before I gave it, then I'll know that that message is accurate. So all the time I'm weighing it up. I don't know why, but I've always liked to know how things work. I just don't take anyone's word for it. Maybe I should
Mm-mm.
more, but you just want to know, don't you? So
Well, soon you get to a point where you know who you can
I
trust
do
what
know.
from.
Yeah, but I've got to a point now where I know there is a spirit world around us. It's very,
Oh
very
yeah.
real. And I know that these entities are here. And there's certain things that I know without any doubt in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I'd quite happily put my head in the guillotine, and if I'm wrong, the thing will come down.
The points of
And
certainty, like you have to
yeah,
know
and
that
plus
you're,
I know,
yeah.
and that's changed me. It's changed. And you mentioned something, or did someone mention something in the Doty interview the other night about does it change you? And yeah, it does. You know, it's changed me a hell of a lot. Um, I'm quite a different person. Maybe
It does change you.
I'm not as fun as I was. I don't know, but
Well,
um,
you when you live in a world like that, this is it. But you live in a
mm,
world where
mm.
many things are possible. You start to expand that. This
I feel
world
more
becomes less
responsible.
concentrated.
If I see
Yes.
someone acting stupid, or well, in the past I would have called them a name or something. I just feel sorry for them now, because they don't know what I've seen. They don't know what's out there, and it's like just we're so
Well,
little. I feel so sorry for everybody, really. I have been. Well, I'm not going to go into that, but
can you think
we're
about it? Would
quite
it be like
vulnerable.
though? I've always wanted. I said, you know what? When people get like that, I'm like, you want to trade? I said, did you have a normal life where you didn't see anything or grow up like this? Great, let's exchange for a day, and you see how much you like this, all of this
Mm.
that you take in, and the responsibility that comes with it.
Well, I'm understanding what Whitley Strieber says now about the Greys don't have free will. Certain entities don't have the free will that we
Mm-mm.
have. We're like children who can run around and mess about, and we get away with it because
Playing,
we don't. This is
yeah,
this
right.
is why we have this amnesia. We don't know who we are. We don't know what's going on because we can get away with it, but they can't because they know
Yeah.
the time. I've been out in like them and seeing the timelines, and once you know the timelines and you know it's wrong what you're doing, there's no getting away with it.
Mm-mm.
There's a price to pay.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Once
but
you know, you can't go back on knowing, and yeah, how you
exactly, but we're
choose.
like we can get away with it. That's part of the fun. I don't know her. I didn't know any different.
Right. Just
That's how it
oblivious
is.
here. Like,
It's
yeah.
something I put in the Astral Traveler book in the end, like about because he showed me where we sit in the chain, where we sit in this whole thing, and
Mhm.
it took me days thinking about. I know I might be laughing about some of these things now that I'm
You
telling you,
gotta
but
laugh, otherwise you can't
it
take
took
this
me
too
days
too
to get over
serious.
some of these
I
things. So,
know some of it. I know.
but like,
I
but
when I
going
say
back,
this, I'm like, I went through an intense
I'm just
we would
laughing
go
about it
through,
now.
yeah, yeah. But I can laugh about it now. But if I didn't have that playful fun, because you have to reset at that place of laughter.
Yeah. But you mentioned before about, I call it the fear factor, like when they start getting close to you. And I said, sitting with spirit, you got to let them get closer and get closer.
Hmm.
And you do a lot of these meditations. I can send you some of these meditations.
Oh,
And
I would love it. I would love it.
you're
Yeah.
saying, you're saying to it, come closer than you've ever been, and all that. You're saying,
I
and
always
you're
say,
lying
please
there.
come. Thank you. Please.
There's
You
no one
keep
else
going.
in the house.
Yeah.
You're seeing like the blue blobs emerge, just swirling, think, come closer. And the next thing your hand's taken and you think, oh, well, you do start.
I can do this. I can do this.
And
Like give
then
yourself a lot of
when I
pep
was,
talks. Yeah.
when I was doing some of the traveling, what started happening, we had an infestation in the home. So we're talking about
Oh.
orbs, spirit voices. I mean, and we're talking about seeing entities like poking you in the back and you turn around and it flees out the room. We went through a period of the hitchhiker. You know what the hitchhiker effect is, don't you?
Yes, I
I
do.
was bringing all kinds back with me. And
I know, me too. At first, I didn't
my
know.
my my wife and daughter paid a hefty
Oh my god.
price. I mean, she's
Hmm.
seeing a full disembodied spirit walking down the side of the house one day.
You were
She was in the
collecting them, were
kitchen.
you? Yeah, I know.
Well, I
My
didn't know
house
that
when I
was
was a
me.
kid used to be so active because I was picking them up and bringing them back
It's
every day.
quiet at the moment.
Oh
Since I started
man.
writing this book, it's gone quiet now. But there was definitely a connection between the astral travel and the paranormal activity. But because of the friends I had, these entities, spirits, I could ask them to do something and they'd do it. They'd go to people,
Hmm.
provided you give permission. they
Oh,
come to
because
you.
they ask you to do that, so you can ask them, kind of.
Yeah, so sort of thing. I mean, they haven't
Okay.
asked me. I don't think they've asked me to do anything. But
Then no, they used to when I was a kid. They used to be like go. Well, I guess the spirit realm, like
yeah.
messages, gifts. Like it was. That's what I was. I think I was bringing it out
Well,
home with me
I
though,
was just giving
everywhere.
them saying thank you, and like I mean, every now I go out now and then I go outside and thank the guides, and I'd like an incense stick for them or something, or feed the birds, say in honor of my guides, and I do a few like sort of rituals from the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn and things.
Oh, very
But that's
cool.
one of the reasons why I joined the OTO as well, because I always wanted to know
Is
what
it reciprocal then? Is that what you're saying?
I think so. I think if
That
you're
makes
giving them
sense.
if you're giving them a bit of respect and stuff, I think you'll get it
They
back.
get it back. Yeah.
Um, but like I always wanted to know what it was like to go through the initiations that Crowley went through and all those old magicians and things. So
I think
that's
there's a
why,
lot of people want to separate it. I think there's a lot of truth to it.
yeah,
I have a tattoo of something that he
mm.
said, and I'm like, because it holds true. It's not because he said it. Some of what he says,
Well, he
it
probably got it
holds
from
true.
somewhere else. He probably took it from somewhere else, from Hermetism and
He,
things. As above,
yes.
so below. That's not what you've got, is
That's
it?
another no. I that was a but it says by the power of or it says, in this universe by the power of truth I have conquered.
Yeah,
But it's written in like a
beautiful.
different
Yeah, is it written in? Well, it would be written in Latin, is it?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mm.
I've never told anybody what that meant, but that's exactly what it means.
That would be my the words that I use. Omina, I don't really know what it is. It's about truth.
Mm-hmm.
Omina veritas. Yeah, the truth will be known, or something like that. But because that's what
Absolutely.
we're working towards, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Truth.
Yep. Absolutely.
But going back anyway, yeah. So after I seen The Craft when I was 7, I think it was 7 then, and that stayed with me then. And then I think I had quite a normal childhood, and then I was in the military and I started having OBEs, and it was, you know, one a week or something like that. I put it down to fatigue. And then when I left the army, I started the regular army, I went straight into the reserve army then. I was having like visitations, and I think around about 2014, 15, I was having a lot of OBEs, but they weren't induced by me. It was spontaneous, and I started seeing a lot of deceased loved ones, all those kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
And round about 2016, I sort of got out of bed and I see my body, and I just ran and went, flew out the house and went through the wall, and that's
Oh.
when it all. Then I started. I didn't know what astral projection was then, I believe it or not, and I'd been doing it for a couple of years at that point. But I had
Oh, wow.
times where I was like, I was in rooms and I was learning to move, learning to put my hand through walls, and I was guided. I was definitely guided. So the point I'm getting at here is, if they can bring this on if they want to, and this is going to all lead us now to ufology soon. So even back in 2014, 15, when all this was
Mhm.
taking place, so I had the ability. I'd done it in childhood. I'd done it when I was like 16, 17, 18, and then it all started happening spontaneously. Um, and that led us. This will lead us now into, I started reading some of the books on the subject,
Mhm.
and it just took off. As I say, it was
Oh, wow.
the first
Just kicked it
consciously awake.
off, like put in
The
motion.
Monroe books, and once I started
Oh, yeah.
learning and reading the books,
Mhm.
I would practice for a conscious OB. It did take me about 6 months, but
Mhm.
I've lain still and not moving and not itching. The nose would be itching and I wouldn't be itching.
I know.
And
Oh, anytime, and
you
then
know
you're
where I'm
gonna
going.
cut that. Yeah, it's gonna that
Uh,
bungee's coming back.
but eventually you learn, and then one
That is so
morning it
funny you say
just,
that. Preston, what I didn't realize is that excitement.
yeah,
He's like, that's what's keeping you there. And I said, no, I get so excited. He's like, no, that is what's keeping me
yeah, that makes
there.
sense,
Like,
because the excitement and the wanting to see the unknown keeps you
hmm
still, and that's what happened for me. So for about 6 months, I was still having indirect experiences, because we have direct, indirect, and lucid dreaming is the other gateway, by the way, is the best gateway. um, but you want the direct experience where there's no break in sleep. So you lay on the bed, there's no break in
Mhm.
consciousness, and you float out the body, and you go through the timbers, and you see the roof, and it's an amazing thing when it happens for the first time. But I was
Oh,
having it
wow.
indirectly. It was happening every night. I was being shot out like a cannon, and
Oh, yeah,
so
then
I
you
was
got the
doing
other
all this.
side, like, how the heck
Yeah, I
am I
was
gonna
doing all the
stop this?
traveling round. I was doing all the traveling and
It's
meeting deceased loved
exhausting.
ones, and that. But I hadn't had a wake-induced experience since like 2017, I think it was, maybe.
Mine was 2017 too.
Yeah, it's a big year. You mentioned that year, actually. But things would started happening after the wake-induced experience. I started getting the voice messages and all that
Mm.
kind of call your name and
There's so many
and I
tips to
think
like tune in and like the people, like if you get to that point,
I
I would
didn't
love to
really
do.
have to,
Oh, you did it?
but I didn't have to tune in. No, because I think once you're having the OBEs, you're already tuned in. You've
Oh,
been
I mean
lying
in
there for hours.
this realm, like for
Oh, yeah, sorry,
communication.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when you
once you're
okay.
on it, like once you're on it, because you do like exercises, wouldn't you? You probably know what I mean, the silver
Mm.
ball
Yeah.
and you're doing the muscle
Mhm.
relaxation, and you're lying
Oh,
there.
yeah. It's all
Yeah,
part
and
of
then
it.
but I was doing that, and after the first conscious OBE, I mean, I remember that night, I started feeling the paralysis coming over my body. It was it was happening that often, 2, 3 times a week, full blown OBEs, travel. Then you start learning to move and travel, and then you start reading so you're influenced by the books you read as well, aren't you? So
Mhm.
you start trying all new stuff and experiments and things. But moving forward slightly, when the voices were a big thing for me. I got the voices, and I knew it was a real opening point, hearing spirit voices, because all of a
Yeah.
sudden you want to know about
Not
mediumship
as
now.
easy as what you think it is. Yeah.
No, but it came natural with because I was
Mhm.
astral traveling. Your energy must be spot on to get to their locations, and
Yeah.
so that you're opening up the frequencies for them. So
It's hard
the
to
next thing,
separate yourself. You know what I mean?
I can't even believe how it happened, but then you think, well, you want to know about mediumship then, because all of a sudden you're getting voices, so next thing you're interested in mediumship now, aren't you?
Mhm.
That's the other thing that
It's
happens.
yeah, it builds. It starts and then you
Yeah.
build on it. Yeah, oh yes. Absolutely.
So yeah, but then 2018, um, that's when I had the first grey encounter. Um,
That's what I did
I,
too. Oh my
is
god, this
it?
is so weird. Yeah,
But
yeah.
because I think that they are
UFO was
working with you.
2017 and it was it was been January 2018 I did.
I can't remember what month it was, but the first one happened. I actually rolled over, and I looked, and I seen the grey stood in the bedroom, and he
Oh
jumped
wow.
into a portal, a hole, just a hole. All I can say, it was like a hole in the air, and he just took a dive into this hole in the air. And I sat up and I thought, oh, I just, I looked at my wife sleeping, and I thought, I rolled back to sleep, and I thought, what's going on there, And that was the first time I'd seen a grey, because I hadn't
They're
seen one out
different.
of the book.
Short or tall?
I haven't. It's in the new book. I would say he must be about 5 foot. It's hard to say, isn't it? Really, it was darkish, but I know what I seen.
Yeah, I guess you're not
Um,
standing back to back with them, it's like yeah.
well, it's
Up
nuts,
and
because
down.
I mean, I had read magazines years before, and you see the iconic picture of a grey,
Mhm.
but then why 15 years later would I see him, and why wouldn't I see one then? Because I started thinking maybe I was imagining it,
Yeah, you have to give ET permission. I remember when I saw the craft,
Mm,
I was like, "Oh," I finally got so excited. I'm like, "Well, was this needed?" Because then I was like, "I want the nickel
mm,
tour." That's what I kept saying, and
yeah.
yes, you get it. Yes, you get it. Yes.
Mm. But I had to
Oh,
get.
yeah.
But there was an entity I called Azrael, which is like a giant octopus-looking entity, and I think in a lot of the I think it's known in the Islamic text as Azrael, the
I've heard
guardian of
this
the
many times before, yeah.
liminal realms, has eyes
Mhm.
all over. And that was one of the first entities I seen. And the story goes, if you get past this entity, then the doors of perception will open for you. It's trying to
Oh.
push you back in.
That's
want to keep
exactly
people
what it
watching.
is. They layer it with these entities. That's
Yeah,
exactly what it is too.
yeah. They don't
Wow.
really want you getting out the body
No,
until
they
you're
don't.
worthy um of
I've
getting
seen
past
it.
this entity.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. It's so crazy because I've never really talked about all of this, and like, this is
But I
great, you
think
know?
before I seen the grey, I think that happened first.
Yeah.
So again, only now when I look back and start layering it all up, I start seeing patterns emerging and start seeing, well,
Yeah.
maybe I did get past the entity.
Yeah,
This,
it's a layer. You have to push, yeah, and you don't be
yeah,
afraid, otherwise you're back to square one, and here we go again.
yeah. They put me after I seen that entity. I was in a room with two red doors, and I got trapped in this room. And
Ah,
even I couldn't even phase through the wall. I actually hurt my
back to
astral hand.
start. Yeah, or the
Yeah.
checkpoint,
No, but I
yeah.
actually hurt my astral hand trying to get through the wall, which I thought this is weird.
Ah.
And I spent 2 days after that thinking, how come I couldn't get through that wall? Because I transitioned through
Oh, that drives
walls
me
before.
crazy. Yes.
So I was scared then, thinking, well, what was that thing? Was it? It was a, it messes with your mind. This whole process.
Mhm. Yeah,
Um,
you gotta be really good with yourself is all I got to say. You gotta be really
yeah,
good to get
yeah. I
through.
mean, luckily for me, with having my wife a partner, I mean, a lot of the time when if I was alone in the bed, I probably would have been scared to do some of these things. But you knew I had somebody. If I woke up
Mhm.
screaming, there'd be somebody there to hear me, like, because there was a couple of nights I woke up screaming and things. It wasn't all love and light and everything else, but
No, no, it's not. That's it. But that's what they want you to think. It's like you got to be realistic. You have to. It's not all just because you don't want it to
well,
be true doesn't mean it isn't.
well, they kept. I mean, there was times there'd be an entity next to the bed, and I'd wake up screaming, and the
Hmm.
wife, What's up with you now? What you?" I said, I've just seen an entity. That was like a
It merges. It
I asked them
blurs
to show.
lines. It
Yes, it was
blurs
like
lines. Yes.
there was no distinguishable body. It was just blurry.
Hmm.
But I'd asked them. I said to Spirit, please show me your true form.
Oh,
Show me what you
uncloak.
is.
I did. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, and that's what I seen. But then I went to touch it, and then and I woke up screaming, and I went, "What's up with you now?" And I thought, I blew it again. I blew it
Oh,
again.
you got to go back to start. I hate that. Oh man, I'm mad. I'm like, oh, are you serious?
But there came a time when I
Yeah.
didn't blow it.
Hmm.
I mastered it. Like I managed to get through, and that's when things really, really kicked
You got to
off.
work on it in this realm. I used to,
Yeah.
by day, I give myself little mantras, and I would think, and
Mm,
give myself little pep talks, because when it came time for that moment, I was wanting to
mm.
be prepared.
Well, that's right. But I think what happened after that was I was having an OBE and I was flying above the UK. I was just hovering like I mean, imagine a vampire hovering in the air, something
Hmm.
like that. And I started thinking, who shall I go and visit? And I was thinking
That's awesome.
who I was because I'd started like dropping into my wife's body
Mhm.
and merging with her, and I thought, well, who shall I go and visit?
Yeah.
And I thought, the thing,
People get weirded out when they know you have these abilities, because I was like,
well,
again, they're like,
I started
then you
thinking,
get
no,
paranoid when
but
you
I did
kind of
think
like realize
ethically.
they
I
really
was
are.
thinking ethically, and this is the bit where it was good because I thought, well, hang on, Jed. I thought, hang on, this is not ethical. This is not ethical.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's when it
Or give
happened.
yourself the old ethics talk. There you go.
But that's when it happened because when I done that,
Mhm.
I seen a higher version of me come zooming towards me, and
Then you believed it. You're gone.
no, it took over my body. I'm
Hmm.
now a passenger in my body, and it
Passenger
took
in the
me.
moving train. Oh yeah.
Honestly, I'm a passenger. I've
Hmm.
passed the polygraph for this.
No,
Now,
this is tactics that I used to get into my past life. I got on the passenger
oh,
on the train, and you go, and
that's
that's
how
how
it
you
felt.
access it. No, yeah, I'm serious.
But this other me that inhabited me
Hmm.
now started zooming towards Earth. So
Yeah.
I'm now inside my body, I think it is, and I'm zooming towards Earth now, and I'm thinking logically that I'm going to hit the ground soon. But I'm in the astral. I'm
Hmm.
going to be okay. But we're getting closer and closer, and then this portal opened up, like a
Oh.
vortex, and we slipped right into this portal. Colors are beautiful, and we must have been in there for about a minute. And I was just cruising along, thinking, "Oh, this is nice," Then we slowed down, and we were met by, I can only describe them as Nordic entities, beings, but they weren't wearing blue suits. Now, Nordics are known to wear like blue tight fitting suits, but these were wearing red tight fitting suits.
The
And
avians, I
this,
think they wear them, don't they? Too.
I thought they look like us, only I mean, you know, your beautiful version of us. And there was a male who was there, and he hugged me and he said, "Oh, hello, and it's great to have you." And they took me on a tour of this base. This is in chapter 4 of the new book, I think,
Very
the trip to Agartha. And a reason I say it's Agartha is because in the spirit circles, what the trance mediums referred to as Agartha. But it was an inner earth base. There was craft. When I link it to Shambhala, which was known to be the capital of Agartha. I know this sounds crazy, but wherever this base was, it wasn't in the physical realm. Let's get that clear. This was in the etheric realms. But one of the things that theosophy looks to is they class it as this inner earth base as somewhere you can't get to physically unless you're of a pure nature and everything's in the right way. You can astral travel to it, and I can only say that's how it felt to me. But they showed me the craft, they showed me the base, they showed me the solar pylon, which is an energy source. And that was the first experience. So I met the ones in the red suits. And I think it was a couple of weeks later. I was just sat watching TV, and my whole consciousness was shifted, and this entity explained life and death to me. I was looking through his eyes, and I could see like a holographic earth spinning.
Oh, wow.
And he said to me, "Do not fear death." He said, "It's merely a transitional phase. You won't feel anything." He says, "Your life to me is like a 2-week long journey." That's what he said to me. And it felt like, you go on holiday, you meet new friends, and you go home. We're on the holiday now.
A really bad holiday, maybe.
Yeah. Well, it didn't. I mean, but this entity was ancient. And I've seen his hooded figure, I think. But anyway, so I'm going to move forward now. A few weeks later, maybe a month or so later, I can't remember quite how long it was, but that's when the craft experience happened. This is 2019 now. I spoke to Grant Cameron about this quite a lot, and I'm in his book called The Sky Pilots. So what happened was, I went to bed, I put my head on the pillow, and straight away, this is cast as the virtual 2. We spoke about a VE1 experience. The virtual experience number 2 is the reality is shifted. So straight away, I'm now stood. Oh, no, let's go back. I had a question saying, "Do you want to know your future?" And I said, "Yes, please." And then straight away, I was shifted into this matrix-like environment. And there was a craft.
That's intense. Yeah.
It was intense. There was some children there, a couple more adults and me. And a lady came and she asked, she was in one of them red flight suits, and she said, "Come with me." And she took us on board the craft.
Wow.
And there was somebody else that was, they had the hand on a panel on the wall, and the craft took off, and they done a maneuver, and we landed.
Wow, yeah.
So
when you say that kind of makes sense. I always saw a kid, and I thought, because the kid, the way, like, it looked like us, but he kind of had a bald head. I'm like, I thought it was maybe them putting, but it could be somebody else from here on there also.
No, I think they were. I think they're training up humans to see if they can connect to this symbiotic.
So they're connecting
the
us.
Conscious connection, yeah. So we know that the craft, many of the crafts seem to phase in and out of our dimension.
They do.
Call this, I write about this in the engine room chapter of the new book, chapter 2, because, and I'll come on to this in a minute. The frequency, they decelerate into the etheric plane, and then through to the 4th dimension, and then through to the 3rd dimension. So the craft itself isn't physical as such.
Mm-mm.
It's all about matching frequencies.
Mm-hmm.
So because I'm trying to work out whether this craft had any realness to it, or it was purely some kind of virtual experience. But there was a purpose to it, whichever it was. They wanted to show me something. But
Oh
anyway,
yeah.
I had my go, and I managed to fly the craft. I can go into a lot more detail, but I
Very
took
cool.
off and I spun it round and we landed and so forth. And then after that, I was in this hangar area, this break room, and I was sleeping on the sofa. And that's when I seen this entity. This entity with the robes and the hood was stood in the corner. And I said, I mean, I don't know who I think I am. I said, come closer. I said, friend. I said, do not be afraid. That's what I said to him.
Mm-hmm.
And before I knew it, he was his hand was coming towards my head like that. And he placed his hand on my head and it flooded me with like universal oneness and a feeling of love and connection. And I just melted into and that's when the experience ended.
Wow.
And
You merged with it, huh?
I think whatever I'd done something good with connecting
Mm-hmm.
with this technology, wherever. And he was, I don't know, maybe their minds are so superior. He'd arranged it. So this guy, the hooded guy, this is the same guy who showed me about the life and death
Oh,
from God Fear Death.
So did
So he was,
his face, what did his face look like? Can you just
yeah, it was like a hybrid face. It's not the fair. There's more of them. He's not the only one. He's one of three.
I've seen one with a changing face, very much a changing face.
Well, this is the problem, you see, because I've got like 5 different guides. One's called a teacher. She's beautiful. She teaches things, and you can ask questions and get answers. Another one's called Stuart. He's quite biblical. And then there's R.I. Abata, who's the one with the hood. And he's one of 3 who wear a hood, but there's more of them.
Oh, okay. Wow. I didn't know
And they
that.
do rituals and things, and so they make changes on the earth plane by doing rituals from their dimension.
Oh, okay. He
Yeah,
showed up
and
with when we're going into Akashic records. Like they did a whole thing with the water, and that's what happened.
yeah, that's another occasion. So after the craft occasion where I seen him, the next time I seen him, I was out the body, and I didn't initiate this OBE, by the way. And I was flying over land. I seen a river.
Yeah.
And I seen 3 of them down there doing this ritual. So I went and watched them doing the ritual in the water, and then they decided to go. Thought before they see me, but then I looked back and he was following me and he was catching me. I increased my speed, and then I looked back and he was right behind me. And before I knew it, he was level with me.
Oh God! Here we go.
I'm both flying
Stay
along.
calm. Don't go back to start. Right.
But it's ridiculous when I think about it. So I'm flying along now, and he's flying next to me, and then he pulled the hood down for me to see his face. Yeah.
So is that what we fear? Is seeing what it is?
Well, I pulled myself back to body at that point. I must have panicked again, bottled up.
There you go, right back to start.
Ejector cord.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Oh, that was an amazing. And then I spent 2 or 3 days thinking about that. Then why,
Oh God.
I'm thinking to myself, these entities are opening up to me, and I'm thinking, imagine where I can learn from these entities.
You have to give yourself a pep talk.
You've got to hold your nerves.
Hold there, just keep going. You got this.
Then the next time I seen them, I was having an afternoon meditation. I was starting to have afternoon naps, and there I floated up, and they were there waiting for me, and I was looking through the eyes of one of them at the other 2.
Oh, okay.
And whilst I was in this position, they were like my best friends. They were like we were one.
The inversion. Okay, I got that.
No, we were connected, and even though.
But you saw them differently. You didn't see them as like you saw them as like more.
One of them looked quite demonic, really.
Yeah, you have to do that. That's exactly what you have to do.
I wasn't scared.
Oh wow.
Until then I dropped. Then what happened? What they were showing me was the drop down in frequency back to the physical. I actually felt the full drop from them to me.
Wow.
Um, and that's when I come round and I start thinking, did I? What was what's you start
You hit a
thinking, what's just
checkpoint.
happened then? What's just happened? Um, yeah, these tests went on for a couple of years until finally I passed all the tests. That's where I'm going with this.
It
Um,
is too. That's and then you level up. You get that your little. I
yeah,
called
leveled
it
up in
like
the
a
end.
video game. Get the Mario
Yeah,
Brothers. You got to get to Castle 1, to Castle
yeah.
2, to Castle.
But
Yes.
I started turning up in these cave systems, and all these hooded people were all walking up
Wow.
to somewhere to do these rituals, and I was sort of joining them and things and going along, going along, and
Top
then
in line. Yeah. Let's see where we're going next.
yeah, you
Right.
have to just go with it. Because I
Mm-hmm.
thought to myself, well, I don't know how many people are doing this, but I could be on the verge of finding out something very important for humanity, and I don't want to sound well. I'll take the hit. I'll sacrifice myself, and it
I
could be
tell
something
myself, you don't want to
important.
come back and do this again. You got to get, whatever way out of
Yeah,
here. It's not as bad as coming
but I
back around
don't.
and doing this again
They
like
haven't done
this.
anything bad. What I'm thinking, a lot of people will be thinking, "Oh, these are demons. These are this. These are," but they weren't doing anything bad to me. There was only ever doing anything for me. So they never asked anything of me. They just wanted to
Right.
teach me.
Well, Carl Jung
Um.
talks about being stripped of all your humanly and going through and having that
Oh,
experience and how uncomfortable it is because you're shedding some of these very things. And what we assume maybe demon is just shedding some of this earthly
yeah, yeah. I'll go with that. But just being out of the body, you've got no possessions, and you don't even know if you're going
mm-mm,
back to the body. You're sort of like it's just
kind
you.
of true.
And this is the thing: you can forget all the money and all the status. When you're
Can't
out there,
take
it's
it
just
with you.
it's just your mind, really. That's all
Mm-hmm.
it is. So you've got to increase the power of the mind, and that's everything, really. And I always say, if somebody offered me a suitcase full of, $100 bills or whatever, I wouldn't want it to lose what I've
No.
learned,
Mm-mm.
because there's nothing can buy this. You've really got to earn it. Like
Mm-hmm.
it may
It's like
come
going
easy for
through boot
some.
camp. No, you're right about that. It's right. You're right about that. You have to go through all of
Ah,
this. You can't skip around it. You got to do the
well,
process.
I remember they showed me, they put me in this is going to sound weird,
No,
into the
it
mind of,
probably is not. It probably is not. I probably get it. Go ahead.
I'm
Yeah.
embarrassed even saying it,
No,
but
I love it
they
more,
put
even
me
more.
into the
Yeah.
mind of a bull. So I'm now in the
Hmm.
bull ring.
Oh,
I'm the
yeah.
bull,
Uh-huh.
and the bull was going to get killed, right? So the
Oh,
bull
yeah.
got killed, and as I was dying, the voice came that was mindless humans. So that's what they think about us. We're
Hmm.
not, we're mindless humans.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. And we are because we're locked into this thing. They're like, you believe in something that's not even really constructed around you. How silly is that, really?
But that's what they think about us
Hmm.
anyway. And there was the one time I was asked if I wanted to see my soul.
Ooh.
I'm in this virtual tour, and they've questioned, "Hi, Jared, where would you like to view upon your?" They never say see yours. Would you like to view upon your soul? And that,
Yeah, I know. You think about it because
okay.
it sends chills right to your
I
core,
don't
you
even know
know?
how I replied, but it's in telepathy type mode,
Hmm.
and you're lying then, yes, please, and they showed me, and they said, always remember, nothing needs to be changed, because people all say to you, you need to
Yep.
change, you need to do, nothing needs to be
Mm-mm.
changed.
You're at
You
the
know,
right place at the right
that's what they
time.
said. So okay, I'll
Oh,
take
yeah.
that. So it was there was so many experiences, but like when I asked to see God, I was sent to the solar pylon. So the solar pylon is like about 2 miles wide and probably 100 miles high, and I've seen thousands of souls floating around the solar pylon, and I joined them, and you connect to the energy.
Yep.
So that's where I went when I asked to go to God, to source.
Oh, so
But I'll
you
just
know
get
what?
there.
That kind of makes sense because sometimes you avoid it, but maybe it's like a fill station, like a gas station kind of.
Yeah, there was I'm gonna say thousands of people floating. They all looked there. They were glowing. And as I went towards the solar pylon, I was glowing as well. And I was just floating around it. And like
Mm.
some people were just like in a deep state of relaxation, like recharging the batteries. Maybe
There
I
you
did
go.
feel
Yeah.
good afterwards. Yes, you're right, right there.
Hmm.
But that's what I call it in the book, the solar pylon.
Oh, wow. Okay. That
Yeah,
makes sense like that.
I've got a
Yeah.
diagram and a picture of it and stuff,
Very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, and then the second grey encounter, I summoned the grey. Um, but I asked him, I mean, I wasn't doing many rituals, but
But what did you do? I always, please come, thank you was my like.
well, no, I was just going into an altered state and I said, what did I say? It's guide, show me yourself. Come show me what you
Hmm.
truly look like. And then
You say
there
it a
was some
lot
kind of,
nicer.
well, something along them lines. I can't quite
You
remember.
made it sound, but you truly, and I'm like, please
But
come, thank you, remove
no, you want to
the
hear some
like
of my
cloak,
rituals? It's like, as above, so below, with
Okay.
ancestors of the blood and three
Oh,
and
maybe
one.
you have to add the emotion in it. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah. Well, I use some
Oh,
hermetical
okay.
things like 3 and 1 and 1 and 3. I am you
Hmm.
and you are me. Come forth now, bestower of my true will, and all them kind of things.
Oh, I
Got to
get
give them a
that. I
bit of,
get what you're doing
yeah,
now and why they're
yeah.
doing that.
My divine
Okay.
seraphic soul shining in the heavens, come forth. You've got to use all these ancient
I
words.
gotta sound like okay. You can put the theatrics into it. Okay,
I have
that
had,
just like
I've done
clicked.
that. I've done that outside, and I have had orbs come and things. No, I'm not on about little orb. I'm on about football size orbs turn up and
Hmm.
whizzing about.
They're
And
about volleyball is the ones I would say.
yeah, I put some of these rituals in the back in the annex to this book. I don't know if it'll work for other people, but I tend to add a bit of Gnostic stuff and some of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn things in there.
You're setting checkpoints to get to, so we can kind of
Maybe,
fast line our way there.
maybe I don't know. It worked
Oh
for
no, this is
me. It
great.
worked for me.
No,
But again, it's
I'm all
scary.
about this. I'm all about this. Like if I don't have to go through it, I can get to one of those checkpoints and we don't have to go back to start. Let's go
But I'm
there.
just worried that people will start doing it and that things will happen and I'll get the blame. But no, I
Oh,
mean, I don't
well,
think so.
I'll
I
get the
think
blame. They always blame
you've
me.
got to add a
And
bit
I'll
of
take.
emotion too. And I always say, like I mean, you've got to start like um having a bit of respect and saying
Hmm.
thank you and
Yes,
you
you
know
do.
just
Gratitude.
it's the whole thing. I think the whole package, really.
Hmm.
I would say,
If you don't appreciate it, then it's not. Yeah, I
yeah,
get that. You
yeah.
have to have that gratitude. I always thank
Let's
them.
see
I
where we're
always
going now,
appreciate
anyway,
that. Yeah.
because. But then, see what happened for me. Seduction became a big part. You know, there was I'd wake up and there was one particular occasion. This beautiful female was floating towards me. And I did feel a connection, and there was seduction went on, but it was broken up by another spirit who came into the bedroom. Um,
The
and that's where
temptation.
things start. So things do start getting a bit dark in this journey.
No, they do.
Um,
But that's a part of this. You have to know
Maybe
it
it was
exists.
temptation. I think it was
Yes.
temptation. But I
The
was
lure.
before I go any further, what I should say, I joined the spirit circle, which I've mentioned before with the mediums and things, and I started doing all the meditations at this point, and attending divine voice sessions, and I attended other seances as well. Um, but after I was seduced by this female, um, she turned up in the spirit group because what was happening is I started seeing the
Mhm.
spirits in the group in the dark, in the meditations. Um,
Were they channeled by
no,
the
just on
people?
on normal meditation
Oh,
evenings, not on divine voice sessions. So
okay.
you'd be in there and you'd all the lights would go. It'd be completely dark, no lights whatsoever. Um, and you go into a meditation. So I'd start seeing a bit of blue and so forth, and I'd go on journeys. But then I started seeing spirits like moving around the room, and sometimes they pull up a chair and talk to you and things, and it was really weird. And it still happens now. I still get it now. Um, you go on a lot of journeys in this thing, but
Yes, you do.
this other female turned up on one of these sessions and handed me an apple. This is the scene for this exchange was the Garden of Eden. Don't ask me who made that up. So I'm now in an altered state of consciousness, and I'm in the Garden of Eden, and she's there. This woman who seduced me,
Oh, wow.
yeah, and she handed me an apple, and I took a bite of the apple, and it was the taste of I'd never tasted anything like it, of knowledge and everything. And that's part of what Gnosticism is, and the power of gnosis. That's why the book's
So, are you
called.
supposed to gain and conquer? Is that like the going like the seven,
Well, the book,
deadly
the
sins,
book.
or?
No, see, this is the misconception.
No, no, no.
Um,
That's what I mean, though. But we're
no, the
supposed
Bible will
to
tell you not to
not
not
get stuck there.
don't take the apple. It's
Mm-mm,
temptation.
yes, you
But
no. Master the apple.
in Gnosticism,
Hmm.
they tell you to take the knowledge, take the apple, and go with it, and break free from the earth plane. And this is something
Yeah.
that Robert Monroe used to speak about, because people used to come in
Oh,
to the earth plane and get trapped. They get seduced by the physical,
yes,
and they
yes.
couldn't escape. And I suppose
Hmm.
this matches with Gnosticism, and that's why I call it Into the Power of Gnosis, because you've got to learn to be
Oh.
an operator. So you take the apple,
Hmm.
take the knowledge, and run with it, really.
That's why you
Um,
master it. That's what I think. You got to go
yeah,
get the
yeah,
next.
yeah. You got to
Yes,
master it, and
yes.
you got to learn and do this. So
Hmm.
whereas the church would say you shouldn't be doing astral projection.
They want to
Don't
keep you
learn.
here.
Yeah, don't learn nothing. Don't learn nothing. Don't do anything. Just do what you're told and sit there.
Yeah.
Isn't
Don't
that?
ask us questions.
There's people will hate me for saying this. Even people who are watching, thinking, you know, I mean, I am a Christian and so forth, but I'm
This
sorry,
is
I've seen
different.
too
Yes.
much. I've seen too much, and what I'm saying is, get off
That's
your
a
knees.
land-based trap, is what I
Yeah,
call
get off your knees and get
it.
out
Hmm.
there and do
Do
something. You know,
something. Yes. Oh God.
people will say I'm
Yeah.
very blasé about saying it,
Oh.
but just do it. And
I get up
and
on
I
my
think,
soapbox. You should see it. I'm like, we got to do it. Like this. It's just you got to do it. You can't look back.
well,
Just keep looking
I
ahead.
mean, in the Gnostic Bible, in the Gospel of Thomas, which is from the Nag Hammadi Library, that was one of the hidden Gospels, the lost Gospels, and it tells a totally different picture of Jesus and all that,
Hmm.
and Jesus was he who has not known himself has known nothing, but he who has known himself has
Hmm.
at the same time learned everything about all things, or words to that effect. So what
Hmm.
he's saying is you've got to get to know yourself and learn your inner self. And I think
Know your
what they're not,
strengths better than you know, or know your
yes,
weaknesses better than you know your strengths. Like you
yeah,
got to know this,
but that
accept
was
it,
the
and move it.
Gnostic thing, the whole
Yeah.
Gnostic thing, which they tried to get rid of. These are the first Christians. That was about getting out the body. It was about ascending and learning and mastering this. That's what they taught, apparently. I mean, so I started thinking about that then. But she offered me the apple. I took the apple, and then she said to me, they will want. What did she say? They will
Yeah, you got the
come, and
trade-off. Yeah.
they will want what you've just learned. That's what she said. Yeah. So she
That's
wasn't
where
all
your
bad.
bargaining chips come from. Right there is where you have a place of bargaining.
Well, I don't know about that. I'd probably just give it away. I don't tend to find.
No, no, no.
But
No, I'm saying in the spirit realm, that's how I kind of hack the system a little bit. They want it.
okay.
I got it. Let's trade. That's it.
Well, yeah, I suppose so. But I mean, joining the spirit group was a good move, because I was meeting other people and I was sort of doing learning to meditate. And a lot of people weren't having the experiences that I was having, but they didn't know, I suppose, that I tried to tell them that I'd done the astral traveling, but I don't think they were really listening.
Yeah.
So I started getting a lot of messages from people. Yeah. So yeah, the next experience I had, really, I was trapped in a beam of light. So
Mm.
I was out the body, and I had a voice say, they want to see you. And he said it twice, actually. So I went out and I got stuck in a beam, a solid light interface, we call it. So we think, I'm going to say this because I feel that a lot of people who think they're in the beam of light and they're under the craft think it's a physical experience. And it may be, I'm not saying it's not. But we know from the free study with Hernandez and Mitchell, I know you know about that, don't you?
Hmm.
About the free survey.
Yes.
75% of all contact with NHI is non-physical.
Mhm.
I mean, Steve Miller actually told me it was 96%,
Oh
but I'm
yeah.
just going to say 75.
Steve's been on about
Uh,
5 times. I talk to him a lot
I
behind
know.
the
Well,
scenes. Yeah.
ask him what percentage of contact with NHI is actually physical, and he said 96% is non-physical.
Hmm.
So that's why what I'm talking about is quite important,
Very
because
important.
what I'm talking about is part of the 96% OBEs, astral
Mm.
projection, altered states. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's fairly important, because this is probably going to be the kind of contact that you're going to have, unless you're in that 0.4% or whatever. I don't know.
Oh, it's interesting.
But anyway, I was in this beam of light, and I knew what was going on. I could see the craft above me, and I chose not to go because I felt it was quite intrusive. So I have a safe location. Part of the OBE plan is to have a safe location to be able to teleport to.
That's like a seat ejector, like get out of there.
Yeah, I haven't really. I mean, part of the abilities of OBEs is the telepathy, and teleportation's another one. Movements by the mind.
Oh, it's harder than people think to master,
Oh
but yeah.
But
Yeah.
it didn't work anyway on that occasion. I woke up the next day and I don't know what happened. Maybe they did take me. I don't know. But the point I'm making is, I knew I was in the astral body, of course. But a lot of people, if you didn't know, would think they were in the physical body. So you know where I'm going. You get people who say,
Yes.
"I was taken and I seen the brain and they took me." I'm not saying you weren't, but in my opinion, you may not know the difference. Because
No.
if I wasn't trained in OBEs, and I would probably have thought that I was in my body, So it's feasible to say, but I don't want to sort of tell
But
anyone
when
what
you
they were
keep
doing. So.
stuck in those terms and you can't let go of that part of it, you're not going to get
Yeah.
past it. Oh, wow.
Yeah. But on that occasion, I didn't go on the craft because I felt, last time I was invited on board and trapped me in a beam. But Dolly Saffron, I know you know Dolly.
Yes, I do.
She said, "No, you done the right thing not going, because that wasn't a sentient craft. That was someone trying to hack in on you. They wouldn't do that to you."
Mm.
But I did get an apology, actually. There was a message I got off one of the mediums who, again, knew nothing about what had happened. And I got a message in the spirit group saying they apologized for trying to.
Is
What
that
did
like
they say?
the temptation, the lure, trying to lure you in?
Well, no, they said they apologized for the beam of light or something like that. I can't remember what they said. But then that was like the Doty message, because, like I tell you before, I was at the conference in Blackpool speaking to Richard, and he told me about the Roswell crash. He'd done a talk on this anyway. So after the talk, I asked him about the headpiece they were supposed to wear, and he said they wore a headband to fly the craft, and they had grooves in the on the panel. And then about 4 days later, I was at the Spirit Circle, and one of the mediums said, "I've got a message for you." And he says, "Tell Jed he doesn't need the helmet. He can do it with his mind alone." And I swear to God, I don't speak to them there about all this, because one, they're not interested. Well, maybe they are,
The
but
training wheels.
no, in the spirit group, they turn up and we do what we do. Do you know what I mean? They don't know
Yeah.
a lot about this side of me. But also, I hadn't mentioned anything about meeting Richard, and his talk about the helmet or the band, whatever they wear. It's like a headpiece, they call it.
Yeah. I always told, like, sometimes you have to think that, but release it because you need it to visualize to get there. But that's, it's
But
not
they're
really what you
saying,
need.
but the spirits are saying we don't need that, or at least I don't need that. But I'm assuming humans
No.
don't need it. Humans can do it with their mind alone.
Sometimes
Fly the
it's like
craft.
training wheels is what I mean. Like if I envision it, it helps me to believe it to get there, but then it's nothing I really need to keep on.
Well, going back, I'm thinking maybe that was part of being on the craft, and they're trying to get certain humans to be able to, because in Grand Canaveral there was 80 people who had this experience. So this, I in one of my chapters, in chapter 5, I think it is, which I call Flying the Mind Vessel. I think I've put about 7 or 8 people in there. Most of them, Dolly Saffron's one of them. People who've flown the craft.
Yes.
Most of them are female, by the way. But
that is, yes, and you're right.
whether or not there is going to be a craft turn up and we're going to get a chance to do so. I
So
don't
you're
know.
kind of stacking your deck, is what you mean?
I don't know.
Kind of.
So I think
No, this makes sense. This makes sense.
there's some kind of
Wow.
training program. But
Yes, there is.
when we went to meet some of the trance mediums, they offered me a one-to-one session. The spirits wanted to speak to me privately. So we done that, and we sat down, and the first thing they said is something. They allowed my wife to come with me, and the first thing they said was something that went on in the marriage years ago, and so straight away they told us something that no one could possibly know,
Mm.
and that was to give validation. And then that's when
Mhm.
she went into the business of like what my job will be, and I think you've been told the same thing, and maybe many of the guests, about communication. There's certain people who are going to be
I
doing
was told I was
communication.
here for communication. Oh
Yeah.
my, that's what I've always said. I was like, what is that all
Yeah,
about?
there is a reason, and I'm only seeing it now. I mean, I would have thought years ago this wasn't going to happen, but if you look what's going on now, we're getting close to
Uh-huh.
something. There's something
Yeah,
going to happen.
yes, we are. There.
But that's what she said.
Oh wow.
That you will be given the gift of telepathy, and if you abuse it, it will be
Oh
removed,
gosh.
and
Yeah.
you will be communicating
Oh,
with
this is
with
making so much sense.
extraterrestrials.
Oh boy. Okay. Yeah.
So I think there's a reason behind. I don't
Whoa.
think this has happened to me for nothing.
Mm-mm.
Although
No,
someone has said
not
to
at
me on the
all.
last show with Paul Sinclair, like someone
Oh,
said, "Oh,
Paul is
what?
just on not too long ago. Yeah, he's great.
But someone was saying, well, why would they pick you? Why wouldn't they
Oh
pick
my God, I say this
the
all the
pe-"
time. My question too. Why me? Great question. Let's move on
Yes,
with
but
our day.
then
It
they say, well,
happened.
why wouldn't they pick the president or someone?
Yeah, I
But
know.
when we factor in
It
that,
has to happen to somebody, okay? That's what I always say. Like, I
well,
happen to be the one.
my answer was, well, it's not as if I've ran with the baton. So maybe they dangle a carrot for a lot of people,
Mhm.
and certain people will grab the baton and run with it, which I certainly did. But then I also think that maybe some people are more suitable DNA wise and
Oh
for this
gosh,
job. We're all good
yeah.
at different things, aren't we? There's certain things I'm.
Yeah, I
So I
know.
don't really
I
know
think we know where we're
why.
going with this. Yes, yes.
Yeah, there may be a reason, but also if we
Mhm.
factor in the fact that we've had multiple lives, then being a president or whatever doesn't really.
Mhm.
They're not. I don't think these entities care what rank you are or what, but they're not bothered. They only
Mm-mm.
see. They only see like what the frequency is and what
Yeah, oh, the
agreements.
freak. Oh, yeah, yeah.
I
Oh
think.
god.
But again, I always say I could be wrong. I
No,
don't
you're
know.
right. This is where I'm at with
But
stuff. Are you, there are other people involved? Like, so when you say, oh my
mm.
God, I think I know what you're talking about. I got you. Wow, this guy,
well,
I got you.
but you see, the experience I had before this life,
Hmm.
when I was brought in, I was told I had to come in, because there's something going to go off.
Oh
They,
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
anyone with any,
Oh
but
God, yeah.
the problem is they told me that I was a warlock in the previous life. Now this is going to get weird. I
No,
think
mm-mm.
because I'd been in a spiritual sort of.
Yeah.
And a warlock is obviously a male witch type character, you in a past life. So there's something to do with the DNA. I don't
Mhm.
really know, but there's a
Oh
reason
God,
why.
yeah.
So this is going to sound quite occultist,
No,
but
no, I think yeah, go ahead.
maybe they're just using whatever antennas they can now because there's something. It was like all hands on deck sort of thing. They wanted
Hmm.
more people down here to do this because it's gonna be a shift.
Yeah. Are
Does
you
that
gonna
make
shift
sense?
it? Is it
I don't know.
the
I'm scared, really.
I know, me too.
Because it's
Oh
all
my
good.
God.
It's like it's all good fun at the time, going out the body and
Oh, it's
whizzing around.
great. But when it
And
really hits,
one
strikes home
side of
like
me,
right now, I'm like, I have the chills. I can't even. I was
oh,
hoping this wasn't
one
true.
side of me
Oh my
thought,
God.
one side of me was thinking, um, still thought of it as maybe not real and all that. But then we've had things in the house, like for example, I've been in the spirit group and I've said, give me the voices, and I've repeated it for 5 minutes. And I've come home and my wife's been at the door. I've just had voices in the kitchen in Hebrew, or Latin or something.
Oh God.
And all of a sudden it's coming home. I've had chandeliers swinging. We've had like
Oh
seeing
my
a
God.
lot in this. And when it comes home and when you
Oh
see them
man.
with the physical eyes,
Hmm.
all of a sudden it rings home that I'm messing with not messing with it, but
Yeah.
something real going on here, you know. But
Oh,
at
yeah.
first you sort of put it and think, oh, maybe it's just me. You know, I don't know. We're all scared to let go of our physical crutch, that
Oh,
we
God.
live in this physical world with our crutch, and are you ready to let go? I don't, and it does scare me thinking about that. Like, because when I know people think about
Mhm.
if they did turn up, what would it really be like? And you know, it's all right thinking of it in one,
But
but
when it
it's a
actually
bit,
happens, you better, yeah, oh, yeah.
because when
Oh,
we
yeah.
question our whole place in the universe and our connection to the spirit world. I mean, I know Graham Hancock calls them uh, spiritual vehicles, and they're vehicles to the spirit world. And that's one of the things I discuss in chapter 2, because I mean, I'll come on to this now. I've been in a seance with Stuart Alexander. I don't know if you've ever heard of him.
Mm-mm.
He's the world's most seasoned physical medium, Stuart Alexander. Whitley Strieber's been in with him too.
Oh, okay.
Um, but you know, I've seen the materializations in the room of people, trumpets flying around the room, and levitation, all those things, apportation. So I came out of that seance, and so did my wife. After seeing physical material in front of your eyes,
Mhm.
spirit physically materialize, then I started thinking, you know, they used our energy to produce that, and the medium gets.
Absolutely.
If you think about like Bernadette in the cave, 1858, whatever it was, she was carried out of the cave sometimes because the entity that was forming would take energy from the sitter. You follow me? It's
Yes,
like
I
when you
do.
get the Oz, but
Mhm.
when a craft comes, if you think of the S4 craft, it's got its own power supply. It doesn't drain the sitters. The sphere of influence around the
Oh, the
craft,
city. Okay.
the entities don't tend to go far from it. So they're coming into our dimension, and they have to stay near the
Mm.
craft, and the craft has got a lot of power
Right.
supply, so it
The
doesn't need to.
core.
So whereas the spirits take the energy from us, the higher dimensional beings don't need to take our energy because they've got the craft. So in chapter 2, I call it
Oh.
the engine room of reality.
Oh,
Right.
wow. Okay.
So the it's like a frequency, the defrequency, the lowering the frequency, decelerating into our. I mean, have you ever held on a port, a gifted item,
Mhm.
maybe a feather or something? Sometimes
Yes.
they're reported to be warm stone if it drops or whatever. We've had many in the spirit group, crystals normally, or bracelets and things. But
God, I've talked
um,
to Steve Mayer about this. I'm like, man, that's
oh, I know
where,
he's really
yeah,
good on
yeah.
it.
He started
I
getting
just
out plastic bags to show me. I was like, this is great.
He's good. You know what? He's not only good; it's good how he describes it as well.
Mhm.
He's so great. In fact, he even got me into this thing. Was probably. But he's so
He's
knowledgeable. He's so
fantastic.
knowledgeable.
He
But
really is.
but
When I get stuck or something gets really, really weird, I know I can contact Steve and like,
well,
yes.
one of Steve's good friends is called Nick Kyle, and Nick Kyle was in the Skull experiments in the 1990s
Oh.
in Britain. And these experiments were the most documented mediumship experiments. When I say they produced evidence, there was a lot of what's the name for them? People from the SPR, the Society of Psychical Research.
Oh, the
They would be there
PSI.
they were documenting what was going on, and they even had miniature UFOs flying around the room. That's
Oh,
how
wow.
crazy it is. When you hear Nick talking about it, he attended 2 sessions at the school, and the point I'm coming to, you probably heard of the entity called Blue,
Mhm.
and this entity was brought through in the skull using
Oh,
mirrors and
on
cameras.
cameras.
Yes,
Oh, I know.
I think you're starting to think.
Oh.
But the entity told the group, or the group told them that they were going to get a visit from a higher dimensional being. Um, and this is what emerged. He looked blue. That's why they called him blue in the mirror through the cameras. It
Mhm.
was a double psych. So I can't. Don't ask me to
It
pronounce it because
changes everything.
I'll sound
It
stupid. But
it definitely, like, alters Yeah, oh
Yes, but
yes.
the point I'm going to come to now, which might scare people, is when they mention these mirrors, and I don't know if they even thought about it. Straight away I thought round to like a magician summoning, and the entity normally gets seen in the mirror. So in a magic circle, with a group will be around the mirror,
Hmm.
and the magician will summon the entity who will alter his form, and everybody knows the entity's altered its form to look more suitable to the group.
Yes.
uh, and it'll
Yeah.
be in the mirror, and everybody will see the entity, and it'll feel very uncomfortable. The
Mhm.
entity will not like to be present in the physical for very long.
Mm-mm.
There's crossovers here, you know.
Yes.
um
Do they
and
think that they're going to get stuck, or is it a fact that we're not going to be able to
these
tolerate them as?
well, no, they're very vulnerable. When they're in that state in the physical, they're very vulnerable,
Oh
and they're
yeah.
only doing it because they've got pacts and agreements with the group. So you
Mm.
see, I'm going through my astral projection. I'm reading about this kind of stuff and learning and talking to people, and then you start. There's always another layer to this, isn't it? And you
Yeah,
start
yeah, yeah. Oh God,
and
yeah.
you start thinking, what am I dealing with here? And
I
then you start
know.
thinking about the links to when you think about what extraterrestrial beings do. They can telepathic, yeah, supernatural. They can do this, they can do all the supernatural traits. And it gets a bit worrying, but I don't think the demons. Um, I don't think, as people again, in my opinion, and I could be wrong, I don't think most of the entities that we're dealing with here
Mm-mm.
are extraterrestrial.
No way.
Um, I'm
No
pretty,
way.
I
I think
like,
we have to encase them. Like, you know what I mean? Like we have to put
yeah,
them in a little category. We have to, that's what I trick my head. I'm like, okay, so if I give it a name, so I start naming in my head just to get
yeah,
past them. You have to get through them.
yeah. I think most of them, there may be real extraterrestrials coming here, but I
Oh,
think most
definitely.
of what we're dealing with might not be, and they could be interdimensional, if you like.
Yeah,
But the
absolutely.
modalities they're using to get here, I'm saying it is the same as what the spirits use, but they have more power.
Okay.
That's where I'm going with that.
I
Um,
got you. Okay, now that makes sense. I
so
got
that's
you.
why I've introduced it. And I had a professor messaging me, like I thought. So I messaged him back and said, "Listen, mate," I said, "I work on the railway. I'm an ex-soldier. I'm not a physicist. I don't, it's just an idea, and
Hmm.
I don't know for sure, but."
But you're testing it out. That's
These
cool.
are the kind of things that keep me up at
Mhm.
night. So
You have to though. Like sometimes I say that I can see somebody I can
yeah.
talk to them, I can tell that where they're at on this journey because it's
Well,
like you go back, there's certain things that everybody goes through and you say, and
mm,
then I'm kind of like, yeah, somebody's on, but I'm like, okay, they're at this stage. I can kind of put them into what stage that they're in.
oh well, they told me the mediums told me about the books. They said, be careful because too much too soon for people.
Yeah.
Like I remember after the last show I done, like someone was saying, "Oh, this guy's too far out," and I've got, I've got to go and drive a train tomorrow or whatever. I have
I
to,
say, you know
I
what?
have to,
That's your programming telling you that. You'll be there when
yeah,
you get through it. Don't worry about it.
yeah. Oh, I'm
I
not
say,
worried.
let them have
What
their
if
problems.
people, the problem I've got is I talk about these things now like it's just like nothing to me. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm.
But for other people, I've got to understand that this may be knocking them off their perch a bit too.
Right.
I don't want to disrupt anybody, but and one of the
I
things like
was a
the tic tac,
disruptor.
yeah, I can see
I was
that.
born a disruptor.
But Coley,
Yes, yes. That's what
but
I'm
even
here for.
one of the visions I had in the group is the tic tac, and they showed me like a weapon inside it,
Mm,
a nuclear weapon, and I was told that what they
flipping
want
that.
to do, they told me that tic tac is homegrown, and what they want to do with it is be able to move a delivery system for a nuclear weapon or something. That's one thing that was shown, and that sounds quite bad, doesn't it? But you know,
No,
when you
I think
think
of
of,
things different though. I see this a little bit different than probably
yeah,
most people do. I'm with
yeah.
you out there on the weirdness, so that's
I
okay.
mean, I have had a lot of accurate visions, but when you're in the group
Hmm.
and I've given some messages which are accurate, and then you've had a vision as well about the tic tac being, I start thinking, well, he showed me that was right and that was right. So I don't know, maybe
Don't
it
you think
is
you've
true.
said things along the way? I always think like I call them points of reflection.
Yeah,
because in
yeah.
my head, like I might have
Mm,
this set up because I know at this period of time and this time coming up that I'm going to have to do this. So I was like that point so you can.
mm. Yeah, we see time differently, but they don't
Mhm.
see time the way we do,
Mm-mm.
Um,
No.
but yeah, but there's been so much, and the next
Do you
radio I
think a
want to come on.
time is there for like just a timestamp, kind of like a point, like so we know,
Mm,
and we might come, because it's on this linear
mm.
thing, and we know it's a progression.
It's
So it's
linear
kind of
for
like
us.
yes, but
Well,
not
I
you guys.
think out of the box all the time, and I think, well, maybe they knew what's going to go on in the future, so that's why they came to me when I was a kid, when I was a
That's exactly,
child.
yeah. But maybe
Yeah,
it was you that put that checkpoint up because you knew why you had to come here, and you knew you just have to ping some people maybe around within the next year. We're all going to
exactly.
start to come together for that frequency, so you can change it. But that's
Well,
could
that's
be
what the
me.
mediums told me. The craft that I seen when I was 7 came from the same place, this inner Earth place. And then I
Yes,
start thinking these bases, which they think are on Earth, but they're at the
there you
bottom of the
go.
sea. I mean, I don't know if that's what they are. I don't know. They don't tell you
But
everything.
no, they don't, and they give you. I'm like,
Very
why am I here for
careful.
communication? Can we be a little more specific? No, you got
Well,
to
they
go
told
on that
me.
journey then.
Well, they told me that it's to do with when I asked them what it was to do with, and they said this is the experiments extraterrestrial. They said to me, you can choose to continue or not. I said, well, what's in it for me? I
There, see, that's a bargaining chip. There you
I
go.
suppose
That's
so.
what I'm
Yeah, you've
talking
caught me. You've
about.
caught me.
Yeah.
And they said evolution of soul. They said, I understand that there's some kind of fast track evolution in this. So I thought, "Oh, okay." I thought, well, let's continue with the plan. I said.
Mhm.
That's what I said. Let's continue with the plan. And then not
Right.
long ago, I was shown.
Have you ever told them if you want to continue with this plan because they need you as much as you need them? Like this,
Well,
I need this. Otherwise, we're not going.
or maybe I should start asking for
You
stuff
should
since you.
check it, try it out, and let me know if it
Well, yeah,
works for you.
maybe I've
It's
messed up
I've been
because,
very
like,
successful
I
with this.
find myself. They invited me to this villa one time, and there was a pool, and there was beautiful bubbling away, and I thought, oh, this is nice. And I sat down, and the guide called Stuart came in, and he sat next to me, and he said to me, "Do you like this?" I said, "Yeah, it's lovely." He says, "You can have all this," and I said, "Really?"
Oh,
And I said, "No,
what
you're
do
all
I
right,
got to
mate."
give for it?
No,
Yeah,
I
here's
straight away I said, "No, you're okay." I said, "Give the money to the kids." I said, "You could probably put 100, 200 kids through their education. I don't need it." I said, and that was it.
mm-mm.
And then I told the wife the next day. I said, "You stupid idiot!
No,
You should
that's
have
a
take the money."
yeah.
But no,
No,
after how I
don't
felt, because
sell your soul right there.
no, because I do pay money. I do put some kids through education in
Sure.
Africa, and it means a lot to me. And I just thought,
Mhm.
I don't need. I've got everything I need. They've been good to me. I'll be honest. I've always been fairly well looked after. I think I never really wanted for anything, which I'm quite
No,
grateful
but
for.
don't you think sometimes, like, okay, so you have like I was a mental health therapist for 7 years, and you have that hierarchy of needs, and if
Yeah,
those needs aren't met, you can't really get anywhere. So if I don't feel, and okay, so it might be like I might want some
yeah,
extra cushioning here because it's that feeling and that energy, and that's
yeah,
the frequency. So why not? I would say kind of ask for props. Like, can we get
yeah,
this? Can we have that? But it costs money here, so I know that I
yeah.
have to exchange that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think if you're working for them, if you're doing a job for them, I think they make
Hmm.
sure your distractions are taken care of.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think about it just like that. Like, okay, you a
yeah.
job, so let's negotiate the terms.
Oh, synchronicities. That if I could
Mm.
say some of the things that have happened, and like what you've just said, you think that couldn't happen by chance. So yeah, I have been taken care of in many ways, um, and I think that's part. If you were so distracted you couldn't do spiritual work, if you like,
I'm
you
testing
wouldn't
out
be able to do
making
it.
demands for this. If
But
we
I
want to
don't
go
even
any
know that I'm
further,
doing. I don't even know that I'm doing spiritual work. I feel happy doing it.
hmm
Um, and I think the way things are happening now, it's more okay, isn't it? Years ago, maybe you would have been ridiculed more, um, for
yeah,
being out there, you
for
know.
being out there, we are out there. We are out there. That's okay though, but you have to go out there to get there.
Well, yeah, I think from what I've seen out of the body and on these dimensions, I just don't care anymore. And maybe I
That's
haven't lost
free.
friends, but I just don't. It's not that I
Whoa,
don't see them as friends. I just can't resonate with. I like to be around
You're gonna
people
be
who
tolerated
can.
less and less, really. You
Well,
don't want it
I don't like to
clouding.
say it. I don't like to say it, but that is what it is. You're less tolerant. Not in an
Mhm.
angry way. I just don't want to be in
Mm-mm.
crowds. I don't want to be around negative
Right.
people and stuff. I just, there's a
One can
certain.
just that then you're
It
going
sounds horrible,
back.
though, doesn't it? It sounds like it's a backward step that you don't, but it's not. You just can't mix your energy with,
No.
and that's not that they're bad or anything. We're all just on a
You know,
different.
it sounds bad, but that's okay because that's the programming is what I'll say. Like, if you
Yeah,
really want the freeing experience, they'll throw everything, and I'm like,
yeah,
I'm still going. Like, let's go. Like, I kind of want to rip those band-aids off and like
yeah.
that's the way I am. But
But one of the things they did tell me, though, in case I forget to say it, one of the big messages I had was about a new propulsion system that will be given to humans. Um,
mm,
they showed me a lot of different craft in this vision, and they
well,
said a new propulsion system will be given to humans, and it will change humanity. And
oh,
I know they've got this tech, so I don't know whether it's something that we were going to get off the military industrial complex or whatever, or it's something that they're going to force to be given. But it will happen.
negotiated. We call it negotiated.
It will happen. The way that message was distinct, it was just a loud voice.
Yes.
Why would they tell me that? I mean, I know you think, well, they
You
did.
have to believe it for it to happen.
Yeah,
It's part of the process.
I don't know about that.
Mm,
In many ways, you have to. The law of attraction has to be
yes.
given, and that's what we call
Your law
pattern
of
limits.
attraction. Oh, you see, you're putting a nice term on this. I'm coming right out there, probably.
Well, no, because it's true. I mean, I often think. I mean, I think if we know that atoms aren't physical,
Hmm.
like 13 is the 13 electrons spinning around the proton, and this chair's not really real, and all this. But I suppose, and I spoke about Nick Kyle before, and if you said that to me, say, well, I tell you what, you go and stand in front of that bus, and I'll wait with the shovel, and so that's what he would say to you. But um, what I like to think of it is we have the ability of affecting reality by a percentage. It might only be 3 or 4% or whatever, but we can affect it. We can definitely affect it. I know we can.
Hmm.
Um, but you've got it in terms of using what I said before about emotion and all. It creates a frequency spike.
Weaken it to get through it.
You can
Yeah.
do it, but patterning is part of the gateway process as well. And you think in patterns, so you don't get stuck in patterns. If it's something like football, you've always got a 50-50 chance of winning or losing in
Yeah.
soccer or whatever you call it. There's certain things that will always leave you hanging on losing and winning, and you just to be
Probability.
selective about how you do things.
You have to
And
play this game. Whatever this game is, you got to play it. And that's a part of it. The
I
probability. It
played it
really is.
well. I have a
Good
tin
for
over
you.
there in the southeast corner of the house. So if I want something, I'll put it in a note in the tin. I've got
Oh,
all the.
cool.
It's called, yeah. It's part of a. Is it feng shui or whatever? It's
Hmm.
a wishing tin.
Oh, so
It
you
goes
have it
in
on like
southeast corner
Southeast.
of the
Okay.
home. Um, it's very big in places like Hong Kong and that. They've knocked whole buildings down because they weren't right in the southeast
Oh,
corner and
yeah, they're
stuff.
very, yeah. This has to be
But
this way. That has to be its way. It's
yeah,
structured.
and
Definitely.
crystals as well. Like I have
Mhm.
certain crystals. They told me to get onyx for protection. Um,
Oh.
but no, that'll bring you on to the last experience I had when I seen the grave was in 2024, and I'd done a ritual, and
Hmm.
I woke up, and the grave was at the end of the bed, and he allowed me
Hmm.
to examine his body for 5 minutes. Can you imagine? For
What
five
did you?
minutes.
How did you get him? What was the deal?
The deal was before I went to bed,
Hmm.
I said a few words, and I said, please show yourself and show me your true self. I was starting to suspect that
What did he want
these
from
ends
you?
nothing.
There's
But
there's always a trade-off, don't you think?
well, I don't know because this is the bit which is going to scare people. I felt like it was a summon.
That's a, yeah, it is.
I felt
Right.
like I'd summoned them. Um,
Hmm.
I felt like I was working with them and they were doing things for me.
There's a trade-off. Yeah, I definitely
Well,
think so.
I think one of the things that I started thinking was I met a guy called Guy Stephen Needler, and his theory was that we are container bodies that they inhabit. because we know that they're container bodies,
Yeah.
and this is something. They estimate that the greys are actually fifth dimensional beings that drop into use these fourth dimensional bodies that can come into the third dimension.
Don't you think it's part of the
So,
process? Like you have to.
well, if they're container bodies, then why aren't we container bodies? Because if you go back to Crowley's
Mhm.
work and Abramelin the Mage and the Holy Guardian Angel, all these theories stem from the daemon. You read about the daemon and that. Like there's an entity that some people call the higher self that inhabits us. And this is where I go in chapter 13. Chapter 12 is about this, because I feel that part of us exists on that level. They've got a stake in us. So what
Do you
I'm
know
trying to say
how
is,
he can deal with it too? Is that
yeah,
like even a third going and riding a bicycle or blocking
yeah.
that brain, even roller skating and music, then it blocks and you're able to kind of get a hand on it, tune it out.
Well, maybe. Well, I don't know where the
Mhm.
roller skates come into it.
Oh, because you're moving. So in the
Oh, I
music,
see.
so then it's like your
Oh,
brain.
right, yeah.
Yes, that's like a
I'm
way
with
of
you.
tricking it.
There is ways of tricking these things,
Yes.
but I do think, people say, "Oh, my higher self and this and that." Well, who do you think your higher self is? Well,
I know. I know.
I think there's an entity in the fifth dimension that has a stake in each of us. And maybe one of these entities.
Absolutely.
But this goes back to the into hermetism
It scares
and
people, but this is really the reality. Who do you think that voice is? Like, you know
well,
what I
I tell
mean?
you what, yeah, and I think so. I say to a lot of people, maybe the guides they're listening to is actually their higher self, their prime reincarnation, as Guy Stephen Needler would say. But when we talk about hacking, that's my hack. So I would always go around and say, listen, you know that I know, and I know that you know.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're
I won't
talking
tell
about.
any, I won't
I
tell
will. My
anybody.
gosh, I can't believe this is so crazy. You're saying this. I've done this
So
very same thing. Wow.
And then the other thing I'd be going around is like, I'm your man. I'll do. You work with me, and I'll get you
I
what you
know. Oh
need
my God.
out of this
For
incarnation.
whatever reason, it worked. And
So,
now you're
well,
saying that you really did that too. That is
yeah,
wow.
because I would say, right, I'm here for you. What is it you tell me what you want me to do, and can you just give me
Let's
this
get it
in the
out.
same
What
time?
do I need to get? What do you want from me? That's where I've
Yeah,
called the negotiations.
yeah.
Let's just
I'll
get it out on the
sacrifice this.
table.
I'll
Yes.
sacrifice this
Yes.
life and do, and
Oh
fill in
boy.
and do what's needed to get you on. Because as part of the Holy Guardian process is, right, and they need us as much as we need them.
We
They
need
can't.
them. That's why I tell
So
them that. I was like, all
but
right,
this
we're gonna
higher
not going any
entity,
further.
this higher
We hold them
entity,
up too. People don't realize that.
they can't ascend to where
Hmm.
they need to without doing a good job
Help.
in this
That
lifetime.
is right. We are a team, I
Yes,
say. And there is no I
there
in
is a
team. You want to
team.
go there? Let's
This
negotiate.
is all part of the. I mean, I'm trying to think of what it was called. Crowley wrote all about this, and that's why he bought Boleskine a house on the edge of Loch Ness. He bought the house to connect with his holy guardian angel. That's in the book.
Wow.
But this is what it comes to. So how does that then fit in with? Actually, I'm so there's a few things that I'm very unsure of. Some things I'm set. I know how things work,
Hmm.
but it's the who's who, and they never quite tell you. Because
Yeah.
that voice that's always, I've heard the voice 1,000 times, very, telling me what, like, make room to expand your consciousness. So we
You
need
know what
your
I
help.
say? Everything is a lie because we don't remember everything. That's how
Exactly.
I block it out.
I've even had it, we need your help and all that, and
Help
loads of
yourself.
messages.
This is what goes on. I know.
You're
I
giving them a
know.
hard time. You really
I
are.
am. I said I've done this and we are negotiating this
Mind you,
right. I'm
I did
aware
ask.
now.
I did ask for £2 million once. That was. If
You
you
know,
do
I
this for me,
learned we'll start big and then we'll come like to terms,
but
you know?
that's after I turned down the villa, you see. I started
Mm.
thinking, well, why shouldn't I have a bit of money? I thought, I could give it.
It's going to make your mission a lot easier, let me tell you, and that's what you're here for if
I
they
could give
want to
up
do that,
work. I could
right?
give up work.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I just trust that whatever they're doing, it's all right. I just get. But I'm not. I'm all right. I'm doing okay. But then there was another experience I had where this is to do with disclosure. I was taken. A hand came through and got me. I was just in a light med. Well, no, I was just sat here actually, and I felt tired reading the book, so I just sat. And the next thing, I was sort of knocked out, and then I was taken. I was pulled out of the body, and I went willingly. And this was like a beautiful. She was like a goddess, and I know Chris Bledsoe talks about like
Mm.
the goddess, and she told him that it was going to be 2026, 27. But this,
Oh.
she was in like a bronze female,
Mm-hmm.
and I tried to look at her face, and she wouldn't let me. And she took me by the hand to this realm, beautiful green. We flew around for a bit, and then we stopped,
The emerald
and
area. Yes.
she said goodbye. And that's when I seen people coming up through the ground, like humans waking up, thousands of them. I was overwhelmed. I pulled
Oh
myself off the
no.
body,
It would be
and that
hard when they actually do. We know they have to, but it's like to get there. But
yeah.
like when they actually do, that's scary. You're
I
right.
think the message, what they were trying to say, is that humanity is going to wake up soon.
Yes.
And the likes of maybe you, me, and others are going to have to be here to
I know. Oh my god. Oh my god.
So,
That's so
forget
funny.
about the money, forget about the cars. Really, you got a job on your hands, I'm afraid.
I
There's more.
don't. This is getting painful. This is getting really painful.
So I
Oh
think it's
God. If
coming.
anybody
That's
only,
how I
yes,
understood it.
it
I
is
think
too.
there's a
You're
big job.
right.
There's a big job on.
They're very big. Do you know of the
So
others?
the others, what's that?
The other people.
Oh well, I
Did you
mean,
find them? I'm looking too. I don't know.
no, there's many people. I know quite a few, and I think you'll be doing this channel. And they'll probably know who they are, but no one likes to say it. And I don't know
Mm-mm.
if I am one of those people, but it seems to
Oh,
me
this
that
year.
they're trying to say to me,
Oh God, I'm itching. This is so
you've
painful. You're
got
right. No, I'm now. You just confirmed. Like I said, I'm proving this wrong. This is going to be wrong. This is not going to
yeah,
happen. And you just,
because
well,
you know
oh
the
God.
if this happens, the world's going to change.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
and money is not going to be a big currency
Mm-mm.
anymore. I don't know.
Oh God.
It's just I don't know what would happen. So maybe they've primed a lot of people, and when it goes off, the full telepathy will come in. And like I said, because the last year or so, mine's been quite low.
Oh, we're
But
in it too. Oh God.
what happened was when the three beings of the hoods last met with me,
Mm-hmm.
after I turned down the money for the villa, and there was a load of other little tests, and then I got a voice saying, Gerard, he said, I was starting to have concerning thoughts about you, but you've passed. Well done.
Good job.
Then
We got past
the
the
next thing,
checkpoint.
but the next
Yes.
thing, I was in a cave, and the three hooded beings were there. This was
The three
2024,
horsemen. Yes.
25, and they handed me an eyeball. I know this sounds
The
crazy.
all-seeing eye. No, it does not.
They give me this eyeball, and I said, "What's this supposed to be?" And they said, "We shall meet again soon." And that was the
Mm.
last time I seen them, really. So think about that, and I got to the spirit group, and the medium said, "Eyes are for seeing. They want you to know you now. You now see the truth."
Can't. No
So
turning back
I have to,
now. No turning back
yeah,
now. Right.
it's like this is like a movie I've been
I
living out.
know. Oh, it's get painful,
That's
doesn't
how I
it? Oh
felt.
God. I know.
And sometimes you try. Who am I supposed to? Well, I have talked. There's people I do talk to in the community.
Yes.
Um, but it's quite far out there, and I understand that. But like I say to
I
people,
tell people
if
this
I
too. I know.
if I
Oh
can
God.
if I could teach them to have one out of body experience, you'll see what's out there, and
We
you'll think,
can
right,
move it
it's real.
along quicker. Come
Yeah,
on, we gotta
it's
raise the
real.
frequency. There you go. You have to do it. Yes.
But like
Oh wow.
the spirits are a big part of it. I mean, the spirits can drop
Mhm.
to the I call the etheric plane, just the first level, the first membrane. But when they move something in the home, that's where they are. I've done it myself. I've traveling etheric. I've been in people's houses and mooching about and all kinds. Well, not
Yeah.
I'd say not literally mooching.
No, no,
No,
it's not the
but
same. Don't freak out, people. It is
yeah.
like I
But I
got
would
yeah.
say to people, think like the spirit. That's what I would say. What would they do? How do they move? And once you start thinking like them, then it's best. But yeah, it's very. I think this life's quite temporary, really, and I tend to see people like, I don't think nasty. I think I won't say I feel sorry for people, but I just think, well, they don't know, Do they
That's a
actually
great way
know?
to get through it. And
Mm,
when I really struggle for it, go back to those
mm,
words that
yeah,
you need to do that. You need to think that way to get through it. So if I have to, that's what I have to do to make this less painful. I'm willing to try it.
yeah. So I mean, for me now, you're not in the C5 community. You do your own
Mm-mm.
stuff. You have done, but
I didn't know
um,
that this was all until I talked to James Gilly. I started putting some of the pieces together. I didn't
yeah.
have a name for it.
Mm. But it's that cold over here in the UK. But we went out about 4 weeks ago now, and one guy, well, an abductee, I took him out with us. He turned up in a pair of shorts and t-shirt. He'd probably listen. So oh God, I
I
had
do
some,
this all the time. I'm like, oh, they're
I
probably
had
watching, and I just take it
equipment
off.
in the car, but we freeze to death here. You so look. I don't know what central USA is like, but
It's cold.
it's freezing here all the time. And
No,
whenever
it's cold.
you go out of a day in the sunshine and it's freezing by the time it's dark. Everyone gets
Mhm.
freezes on the sea. You can't meditate because everyone starts
So
shivering.
cold. It gets down to we get down to the -30s and stuff here. It's so cold
Really?
you
Oh,
can't even be outside for like 5 minutes. Yeah, it
oh, I didn't
gets
know it was
really
that bad.
cold. The polar
But
vortex breaks, and then it gets it's unbearable.
wow, yeah,
Mhm.
it either way, even if it's like 15 in the
It
day,
does
it,
once it
it's
passes a
still
certain
you
point, it doesn't
can't
get bad.
meditate. And you watch like
Mm-mm.
Greer in the Joshua Tree Forest, and then in the heat and all that. You think, oh, I'd love to go there. But so yeah, I think for me, I'd like to get to the Monroe and do a remote viewing course. I'd like to get to the Joshua Tree and do a meditation. There's things I want to do, but you need money for that, don't you?
Mhm.
So I say to the higher self, well, I need. I could do with this.
Do you know what? You
I
remember
thought,
when I was telling you behind stage about those machines in the Monroe Institute? I'm wondering if that
yeah,
might be a hack, now that I think about
I
it.
don't know. Yeah, I mean, maybe so. They have them pods there, don't they?
I don't know.
Um,
I don't, I haven't checked into it, but I wonder if there's
yeah,
something to all this. Maybe we're supposed to connect it.
I don't know. I know for any viewers that are watching,
Mhm.
a lot of the gateway tapes are on Spotify, so you don't have to pay for them. But
No,
someone
I was
might
a
say they
gate
have.
kid, so I was like, it's just like
Yeah,
some of
when you're well
those. You
in.
remember? Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah. Well, it sounds to me. I mean, I say for me, like 2010, none of this would have mattered to me. But by
No
2000,
way.
it's just amazing how quick it came on.
You
Because
put the pieces together. I know.
I've got a cousin who's a paid medium, lives in Glastonbury, and she said she'd never met anyone who's astral traveled like me. And I didn't even know how quick it was coming on, but
That's
it was
yes. That's how you
full
operate
emotional.
outside of the universal law. So that's your
Yeah.
thing. You got to find
Yeah, there's certain things I'm not very good on the clairsentience. I mean, I don't tend to sense stuff a lot of the time, but voices definitely. I mean, I've been walking around this house and I've had a voice saying, "Have you locked that back door properly?" And I think, Who's saying that?" Or I've had them come
That's why
through.
it's so important you come in contact with the other ones because they can operate where you can't. Together, you can operate outside of
Yeah,
universal law.
definitely,
Hmm.
definitely. Um, I have met a blue Arcturian as well, by the way, and was convinced that he was the higher self. Because he
Mm.
said but only because he said to me that he'd been watching and listening to some of the stuff that I was doing, and I get a buzzing in the ears and I get a tingling on the crown, and I think,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I
They're
get that,
communicating.
yeah, and I think, is he
That's where you
listening?
clear, pull in and clear.
Yeah, it's normally when you empty your mind, maybe you might be watching TV or you're just not thinking about like your usual thought patterns. You're just chilling, and then I hear the buzzing coming, and then the tingling,
Have
and
you
I
tried
know,
this where you lock your fingers and you pull it into your chest area
no,
to tune
no,
it in? You're trying to tune it in.
I'll have
They're
a go with that.
communicating. See,
I'll have
let
a
me know if
go.
it works because you lock it
I
in
will.
and pull it in below your chest. You lock all this,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it helps big time. You'll be able to. It's like, whoa, what
Wow.
just happened? Hmm.
But I think there's a lot of us going through the same thing.
There's
There's
definitely
this,
others.
I think there's people who are making a lot of stuff up, but I think there's a lot of people who are quiet who are
You
having the
gotta
experiences.
filter them out. There's
I
yes.
think that's what Doty said the other night, didn't he?
Oh, did he? He probably
There's a
did.
lot of people sort of.
Have you
It's kind
tried
of,
to? Do you know what they're saying? You're trying to do is ping the others. That's what you're doing.
yeah. But when I asked the mediums, this telepathy. because I'm having telepathy during the OBEs. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's
That's
part
your
of.
training. This is going to come to place. I know who you are now.
Right, okay. Um, but in the physical, I said, well, who will we have telepathy with? Other people who've got their telepathy. They're not just
Do you know
anybody.
how to send messages?
Well, I don't
You
know.
pull the thought down into and you shoot it out your crown.
Well, I have tried in the group, because when I'm sat in the group, what I do, what I'm not known to do, I will get into your mind and find out something that you've been doing. So,
Mm-hmm.
for example,
Oh, that is
the messages, the
good.
kind of messages I give, like
Hostage negotiation.
for example, I will tell you something that you've been doing that week or day, or so. Like I said to a woman not long ago, I said, right, for you, I see a pack of 3 Snicker bars. And everybody laughed. "Yeah, yeah." And he said, no, he said, today I gave a homeless person a pack of
Mm-hmm.
3 Snicker bars. So I've identified the person and told them something that no one could have
You
known.
got to get them to
I don't,
believe, because that's
yeah.
that's
But
that's
what
what
I
they need
mean
to
is,
do.
it's like you're seeing things from their day,
Mm-hmm.
But also, I mean, I'd like to be able to give more in-depth messages, but some of them are more like, I see an overlay of like American coins, and I'll say to someone, "Are you going to America?" "Oh yeah, we're going next week," or something. It's things like that,
Yes. But
But
you
I
said
want to
like you said
improve.
before, they can't, if you just tell them, they're not going to believe you. You got to get them to there, because once they do, then you're
Yeah,
next
it's
level.
evidential. It's
Yes.
evidential because there's always someone who'll say, "Oh yeah, is there a gentleman here? I've got someone with a pain in the chest," and
Getting
everyone
them
puts their hand.
closer. Come
But what I
closer.
mean is, it's very general. If you can
Mm-hmm.
tell someone something accurate,
Yes.
that then it brings them closer into to understanding.
Like you were saying before, how you pulled them in, that's kind of what it's doing.
Yeah, yeah. But it's just another, for me, between the CE5, the astral projection, and the spiritualism, it's just hitting different areas. So as a researcher, I wanted to, so joining the OTO as well was just, for me, another element of seeing the magic side of it. So now we've got
Mm-hmm.
the spiritualism, the seances and that, we've got the magicians, the magic side of it. And we're not talking about like the rabbit in the hat magic here.
Mm-hmm.
This is ritualistic magic.
With the
Uh,
K.
and yeah, and we've got the summoning from the CE5 and the astral project. So I'm just trying to cover all things because I need to know. I like to know how things work, and maybe I've reflected that in the books and stuff. So that's the whole
Right.
plan.
Wow. This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
wow. Wow. That you
But
got a plan. That's see?
I've got a plan. I mean, I've even got a Spotify song list for this book.
Oh,
But I always,
that's great.
I
I
like
because
this.
those are needed. You realize for the others, like you have to have the
Yeah.
frequency, and that's what you're here to do. That's
That's what I put in the book. So each
oh
each
my
chapter's got
gosh, yes. Oh,
each chapter's got a couple of songs in, got a few
oh
songs, and they've got a
wow.
Spotify playlist because music's a big thing for
It
me, and it
is. Yeah.
inspired me to
Well,
write some of the things. And some people say, why are you putting a Spotify playlist?" And I said, when I was reading Monroe's Out of the Body book, if he'd have had a Spotify playlist, I'd have been listening to me car all the time because you want to get
mm-hmm.
inside the mind of the person, don't you?
You
Um,
got to transfer it from where you think about it to where it automatically happens, and that's the only way
yeah.
is to keep repeating it. Yes.
Yeah, but I just thought, so I've got a plan. I do think about these things, but they've told me this is
I've
only
got a plan
phase.
too.
Oh, we'd like to know about that
I know, this is
devious
great.
plan. But they said to
No, how
me,
to get there? Well,
phase one
kind
is
of. That would
complete.
be my way, wouldn't it? Yes, a little bit.
So phase one is complete, they said to me. So well
Hmm.
done, and now it's phase two, whatever that may be. So maybe sell a few books and go on a holiday, I think.
They're pinging the others. Mark my word.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we'll see. I think the UFO protocol into the Eye of Gnosis will do quite well. I'll send you a link. I don't know if you've seen the picture of the cover. It's got the eye of a grey on, and
Yes.
inside the eye there's a craft, and there's someone stood facing the craft, and the door's open. So it's like the welcoming, come aboard sort of thing.
Lights coming on. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's
Welcome
come aboard.
aboard.
Don't be afraid, sort of thing.
Yes. Oh God.
Um,
Yeah. See, because you got to use what works. I said, the temptation of coming on in and You got to give them what they're going to get, like from that
But you've
guy.
got to, like Ingo Swann said, we're all trapped in a reality bubble. From when, as soon as we're born, we're told we can't do this, you can't do that, yeah. And it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
take much to convince us. You know, imagine you got somebody when they were born and you groom them in the art of astral travel straight away.
Mm-hmm.
You groomed them in. Imagine what that person would be if they were plowed with all the
I
psychic
was
stuff.
recruited at age 4. I get it.
Yeah,
I get
but
it.
you were still probably made to feel like you were doing wrong in some ways, maybe.
Absolutely. So you kept it to
Um,
yourself and you didn't tell anybody what
exactly.
was going on.
But
Exactly.
imagine you were taught that was a major thing at school. You know, the schools taught you how to do it because it's real. We're being
Mm-hmm.
held back. We're being lied to,
We
manipulated.
have. It's the power of belief. You have to believe it. But to get there,
Yeah,
you might have to. I've got a. My hack is the inversion, I call it. We might,
yeah.
okay, so what we really want to happen, AI is not here to take over. AI is here to assist us. And we're going, eventually, we're going to start to believe it, like the Martha Stewart smile, and then we can change it.
Mm, maybe. But AI, I've been doing some studies with AI. Now, have you noticed it tends to give you what you're looking for?
Absolutely.
It's like the law of attraction in itself. Because
Mm-hmm.
the AI started telling me, I only realized after a while, it's telling me what I want to hear. And I
Mm-hmm.
started testing it out and I thought, is this not like the
You know what you got to
universe?
do? You got to tell it what you want it to say. And then you go from there, You
Oh yeah, but do
flip
you not think it's
the.
a bit like the universe where it's
Mm-hmm.
sort of what you put out, you get back sort of thing?
That's
The
exactly it.
AI is a model like that. I don't, I don't,
And you got to
I didn't
build
realize.
it. So it's like when you input your own
Mm,
information, what you need, and then so you can get it. So I keep going what I need from it, like the bartering
mm,
chip, and then it spits out what you need it to say.
yeah, but I mean, obviously, with writing the books, just for things like certain you want to utilize AI to help you get ideas and things, but you don't want to let it write for you, obviously, because it'll
Mm-mm.
just ruin everything. So I'll write it out, but then I'll ask it questions, and it'll give me more ideas because it is quite intelligent, you know.
You
But there's
need it to
certain things
break
that
through, like to
there's
get
certain things
things
it
new.
can't do,
Yes.
you know. There's
No.
certain things it can't do, like, but
I know.
I think it's a good tool. I've worked well with it, but
Well, it's
where,
eventually if you don't get it and like wrap your own,
mm,
that's what is kind of I think the world. I think okay, so AI is here, but what do you need it to do? So that's what I
mm,
like my AI in my brain. So eventually, if you can get
mm,
enough people to believe this, it
mm,
will become and it will collapse into a singularity, and then
mm.
we can kind of branch out
I
from there.
think one of the physicists, Giorgini, this is his name now. He's brought out a book, a good book, and he talks about the point where AI, um, nanotechnology, and all these things diverge, and it's going to create the singularity
Mm-hmm.
where the things
What
that
do
we
they
couldn't
always
do.
tell you we shouldn't have? Like they tell you stuff to keep you from it. That makes me want to go
Mm,
towards it because that's
mm.
usually what we need to do. Let's get
Well,
and find out so we can go and
yeah, if they tell
next
you
level.
don't do it, do it. Yeah.
Hmm.
But
That's
you don't
exactly it. Yes.
get
You're going to get your hand burnt quite a
or
few times, but you'll learn the way through.
yeah, yeah, there is so much to learn. There's so much knowledge out there, but everybody's only got an attention span of something like 20 seconds now. So you've got to be quick now. There's a lot of people haven't got that attention span to sit and learn like they used to.
Yeah, no, they don't.
Um, so it's a different world. But like I
That's where
say,
AI does some of that. It's like before, think of
yeah.
how long it would have taken us. That's why everything's so
Well,
rapid right
before the
now.
calculator, people would have used the paper and done now they just rely on the calculator, don't they? So I suppose maybe it's a bit like
Create
that.
you
I
have to you
suppose,
have to check it like you said though because it gives you the wrong answer. We can't just assume that
yeah.
it's calculating it correctly.
Mm,
You have to check
mm,
and balance.
mm.
You're going to go
So
back
let's
to
think.
start.
But going back to where yeah, we'll have to see where we go. I mean, Grush's came
This
out
is
in the last
interesting.
couple of days, and Grush's talked about 7 different craft now, hasn't he? Sentient plasma.
Mhm.
I use plasma in the book. There's the Project Condyne, sorry, it was taken and that discussed the sentient plasma. So he's now saying
Mhm.
that in his view, it's not just one. There's
Mm-mm.
other.
There is
We're not.
others, yeah. Yeah, there is,
But it's
yeah.
getting more interesting. Why didn't he say that a few months back when he was, he had his interview with Ross Coulthart and that, and
We weren't ready.
he's adding stuff on now. I'm not saying he's
Mhm.
lying. I mean, he's
No, no,
letting more
no.
out.
We're pulling them in, pulling it in, pulling it in. You have to
Yeah.
go, you know what I mean? It's too much if you're like, oh, let's just go here. They have to layer it up. So you start to,
But they're now mentioning the interdimensional talk, aren't they? They're now coming
mm-hmm,
out with the consciousness-based elements of it.
mm-hmm.
So it'll be very interesting to see where it goes. And like we said before, I'm like, what I've been told, I'm thinking, is that right? You know, you sort of doubt yourself, and we'll
Oh,
see. We
yes.
could end up there.
Yes.
We could end up there. And then, Bashar saying 2027. A lot of people don't believe what he's saying and that, but there's certainly something leading. It may
That's,
be sooner rather than later.
it's a 2026 and 27 when yes,
That's what they're
that's
saying.
exactly what the
It may
yes.
be a lot sooner than later. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think people are ready for it if it is, do you?
Is it we're not ready for it or they're not ready for it?
I
Because
don't know. I don't know. But like I always say, disclosure's already happened with us, isn't it?
yes.
It's you don't need their permission
No,
to.
but you need the others to believe it, and that's where they're going.
Yeah,
We need to take in and get control of it because that's what
yeah.
you need it to
Well, I
happen.
think
That's
that
what the
will
inversion
change
is.
the
You're putting
reality will change the more people.
yes,
So
yeah.
you're going with the. I mean, that's what we call it an astral projection, a consensus reality. So the more people, all the people living in these dimensions are of the same mindset, like,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe that's what Earth is in
Tuning
any
them
case.
in.
Yeah, and once a certain number will change, then it'll alter. Okay.
That's exactly what
So,
will happen. Yep.
but it seems to be worse than ever. The planet, there's more wars than there ever has been.
That's
So I
because
do
they're
worry.
believing they're if as soon as you believe it, we're making this weirder. We
Yeah.
are making this weirder, but you can get control of the weirdness and make it. You just have
No, but
to pull them
it
in.
seems, when people say like, oh, there's about this tipping point, you do think there's a lot more negative people and positive people in the world. But I don't know. I mean, you can't.
But there might be, but the energy doesn't come from the positive; it starts with the negative.
Yeah.
So you
Well.
need that to as a magnet.
Mm, mm.
It's
But
like
either
so
way.
it's like you go certain things, and I always thought we hit the point of no return. We have hit the point of no return, but that's what they want you to. We just came to
Well.
a point. We got to push them into. Now we know where it's going. Give them a push into it, then we can take it and make it like. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
either way, from what I'm gathering now, there's that much toothpaste out of the tube.
You can't put it back in.
It's happening whichever way
Mm-hmm.
they want. That's what we're being told, but we'll have to just wait and see, won't we? I'll carry on doing my thing now. Get this book out with the editor. She's doing some finalizing. The copy edit's being
This
done,
is an
and
awesome one.
as soon as I can get back to my OBEs now, that's the best. I just want to get back to my contact and communication like it was
This
last.
is no, I bet you do because that's
look, you feel
uncomfortable to stay
wonderful.
here for a while. You know what I'm saying? Like this is an uncomfortable place.
Yeah. No, once you get the communication and once you feel it, once when you're out the body and you're connecting with them, you do feel wonderful. You really do. You feel where you should be, and you're in the right place,
The right place,
So,
right time.
yeah, that's
But
exactly
in
it.
order to I always say, all right, as happy as you
Yeah.
are, you have to know as sad as you are because you don't only do one without the other.
Well, that's right. Yeah, you've got to have duality. Like when
And
people
then you
say,
get
"Oh,
the
I'm a,"
Trinity.
well, I've had other in one of the chapters I describe. I was taken to this group tried to recruit me. I know this sounds like an epic, but there was this group that has some control on the planet Earth. Tried to get me to give allegiance to this group, and this is in the etheric plane, in the astral, which I refused. And I said I work with the
Yeah.
light, and that was the end. I won't go into it; it'd take too
No.
long. But
They're
the
trying to
bottom line,
contain you, right?
yeah. He said I should have been sacrificed as a child. That's what they said.
Why do they want, you see, that's what I don't think, that makes sense because if you do that, you're going it's going to take more time, but they want you out of here. They want you to sacrifice yourself. That's crazy. I have a mother.
I think what he was saying is certain, they know they don't want this to happen
no,
because
God, no.
they're controlling the elites on the planet and they're in charge, and then they will try and stop this by any means. And
Absolutely.
when they said sacrifice, they said you should. I mean, I don't know how true this is. This is again, I don't know, but
They know it's coming. That's that they want you out of here
they're
because it's
trying
going to
to
take
eliminate
longer.
certain people
We're
that
going
are
to
going to
go
help. Yeah,
right.
because I'm helping whatever it is to bring us forward.
You're
They want
needed.
that stopped. So they were saying you should have been sacrificed as a child. That's what they said to me.
No, I've been told that
But
too.
they said, do you want to, will you give allegiance to
Mm-mm.
their fourth dimensional entity that is in the fourth
That will
dimension?
stall you. Absolutely.
But
They'll contain you.
this entity advises certain elites on the planet. It's an invisible war
Mhm.
going on, as far as I can see. That's how I understood it.
Yes,
And
it's
it was
the
quite cold.
tentacles. Yeah.
Oh, it was quite cold when I came out of that OBE. I thought about that for days. And I seen him again actually.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he said you've crossed the line. He said you've
Yeah.
crossed.
I said I didn't cross
He's
it. I ran
crossed.
across it.
I don't know
Right.
where. So, and I said no. I said I work with the light, but the point. I mean, there is light and
Mhm.
dark in all of us. You know.
Absolutely.
I think you have to have that duality. Like, but I mean, I tend to say I work with the light, like to
But
these.
to know the light, you have to know the darkness. You know.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It's a fine balance. Yeah.
I
You
bet
know,
darkness is
I'm
needed
far
for
from
light.
perfect.
No, yeah, but
Yeah.
you can't. That there's a darker than dark. I call it.
Yeah. But I was surprised, and I don't know. This has really confused me that because it was again, it was another VE2 experience, a virtual reality type experience where this entity, this man in a posh suit, took me and he asked me to come with him, and he took me to this like I can only describe it as an underground place, and there was this entity. He wanted me to meet the entity, and he wanted me to swear allegiance to the entity, and I
So
was
they're trying to
seduced.
negotiate for their lives now. They know this is happening.
I don't know, but they tried to. Well, I was seduced, nearly seduced there as well. There was a lot
I
of
bet.
vices. There was a lot of pressure, and in the end, I said no. I
Wow.
said I work with the light. That's in chapter 10, I think, or something like that. I don't know. I do
They really
discuss
are
that.
scared, huh? It's really happening.
Well, if yeah, I could say that's how it seemed to me.
If they're trying to negotiate their terms of existence,
Yeah,
you know it's
but
going there.
who else have they approached that's offered their allegiance to these dark entities? I don't know.
Well, I
Like I
think
say,
that oh wow, that's
this astral projection thing, like I say,
but
I
see, to
mentioned,
every other one, it's going to be different. That's going to be your area. So they're going to come at different, they need different things from different people. They need you not to do something in that astral realm and operate out of the side of that universal law. So that's why they're going to be come to you that way. Mine is going to be a little bit
probably,
different. Oh yeah,
maybe,
that makes sense.
maybe, but like I mean, there's so many different layers to this, you know.
I
I mean,
know.
I'm making this sound quite dark, but just before we end
Mm-mm.
this interview, I have like had angelic beings and beautiful
Mm-hmm.
things as well. There has been higher realm journeys, but I'm obviously picking the darker ones. But that was quite recent, actually, last year when that offer was made to join this consortium of dark. They
Mm.
said you'll never want for anything. They said
Wow.
all we want is your allegiance. You have to give allegiance and they actually
Did
told
they
me
say like what? Oh, they did.
what I had to say. Yeah, they actually told.
Oh, they. Oh, wow.
I had to say certain words and
They
things
always.
um
Oh, yeah. Oh,
to give it
wow.
to give allegiance. So
Yeah.
it's quite
Oh,
scary,
it's
isn't it?
trying to get. Oh, wow. They're really
Yeah.
trying to stop it, huh? It's really happening. That tells me it's
Well,
really
just
happening.
hold on a second. I'll just be there.
Wow.
Yeah, it's quite hard. But
That.
but I've seen him twice since then, I think, and I've refused on both occasions. I mean, this is like a movie I'm living in,
I
I
know
say
it
to my
is
wife,
too.
I
It
said,
makes
we
me
never know where
skin crawl sometimes.
Julian was back last night, and she's like, you know, that's his name, Julian. He's the
Mm-hmm.
representative for this group. That's in one of the chapters anyway. So God knows what. I don't know what people
So
will make
did
of
they
that.
came last night to try and negotiate again terms?
Well, no, the first time he took me out, when he showed me the yachts and the money, and then he took me to this place, and I was seduced by these four
Mm-hmm.
ladies, and then there was the champagne and the stuff, and then that's when he took my blood, and he said,
Oh, don't
and he said you
sign. Yeah.
should have been sacrificed. He said, and we want you to give allegiance and so forth. And
Oh God.
it,
Yeah.
it was an epic. I felt like
Mm-hmm.
I was there for 2 hours or something. Do you know what I mean? And when I come round, I got up and I went to the bathroom. I thought, I felt scared. I really did feel scared.
Wow.
And then when I seen him again, and
How
he
so
said,
when you saw them last night? Is that what you're saying?
no, not last night. It was probably about 6 months ago was the last time I seen him.
Okay.
And he
That makes sense.
said, you've crossed the line now. We need you to, like, put more pressure on me. And I
Right.
just laughed and stuff.
Good for you.
So
Good for you.
yeah,
What were
so
the
these are
terms? What did they add? Like some
I know the terms would be you'd be very wealthy.
No, did they throw any extras in this time? Like, or the last time you met him?
Extras? No. It was more abrupt. It was more
It's
panic.
more like, if you don't do
Yeah.
this, we're
This
gonna
specific entity was
becoming
standing
more
behind me.
desperate.
The entity was stood behind me. I don't even remember how I got there, but I knew I had that feeling I was out the body, and the entity was behind me, and Julian was in front of me, and he said, "It's time. You've stepped over the line now. We need an answer now and stuff, and say these words." And I sensed the entity was behind me, and I said, "No."
Ooh, do you know
I
who
said
the
the same.
entity is? What it is? Do you know what you're dealing with?
I will say it's King Payman. He's a jinn. The ninth demon in the Ars Goetia.
Oh, the 9. Oh boy, yes.
Is he the ninth demon? Yeah, but he's actually a jinn entity. But then again, it might not be him, but because I've seen him before in the spirit group, actually. That's another story we'll save for another time. But
we have to do a part 2, Jed. Like, can we do a part 2, please?
But I'm making this astral projection sound really dark.
No, but this is what you have to do to get to the light. I know.
No,
it's becoming more desperate to survive. This is telling.
It does fit in with that. The journey that I've got seems to be building to something.
Right. Survival.
We think about the craft experience, if we think about all the things that it does look like it's leading to something. I can only, it's quite scary to think. I can only assume that it's coming. It's soon.
I know. It's really happening. I didn't want to believe it either. I was there. I was like, I'm proving it wrong. And you just proved it right.
I've got my pension plans planned, for a while.
I'm sorry, Joe, that money's not going anywhere. You got a job to do here. You got a job to do.
Caribbean cruise.
Oh,
no
God.
Work and play.
Oh,
I don't know.
I didn't want to believe it was true either. I didn't.
Yeah,
but it is.
We'll see. I don't know. Maybe we'll be sat here again in 10 years and nothing will happen. But
it's different this time.
I think it is.
Me too. I know. Right before this interview, you know what I said? Why is it different this time? And I don't know, but it is. That's all I know. And if I'm going to go any further, before I got on this, I said, we're going to renegotiate terms. You're going to make this right before this. And I didn't understand it until just right now.
Well, I'm a bit cheaper than you. I just found I want to go on a cruise, I think. I don't know. I want a good holiday, really, before it all kicks off. So, yeah. I need a holiday.
You got more than a holiday of bargaining chips here. Bargaining chips like this. Well, this is way bigger than a holiday.
Chips. Maybe I need to start using some of these chips.
They work because in this system, unfortunately, we're told it doesn't. It doesn't. But on this frequency, it works.
Yeah.
So you have to visualize. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I've paid a bit of a price for all this.
It comes with a big price. There's always a trade-off. This is and that's what I said. People don't realize it. I'm like, when you start to see all of what this really is, and you start to know.
I've been in the group, and I remember some of the mediums says, whatever it is you want, I said, you're going to get it. That's what one of the mediums said to me.
See?
And I said, how do you know that? Well, she said, I seen a cake with the big cherry on the top. That was it. And she knows that means the cherry means you're going to get whatever it is you want.
You better get those negotiation terms in order.
I can't tell you what I want.
That's exactly it. I know
Mm.
specifically what I want and what I need. Like where I
Yeah.
plan like, yeah, so I can get it, let's go. Like I know it's time. And I
Right.
unfortunately I tell myself to get there, to pull it in, I'm gonna prove it right or wrong. So I'm going all
Yeah.
in on this, hopefully to prove myself wrong. But unfortunately, it's been coming true.
Yeah.
I don't like it either. I don't. The
Well,
grand
I
scheme of
think
things, but I know. I don't
yeah.
know. I don't know what I'm saying, but you know.
Well, yeah, I know what you know. I know what you think, you know. I
Oh
don't know. I
god.
know something, but
Right.
we're heading somewhere fast anyway. And my earphones are running out now, so
I
I'll have
know. It's been
to
honestly, this has been probably
we'll
this
do a
has been an
part two
excellent.
soon. But you know, next
Absolutely.
time we come, I'll move into some other areas really. I mean, now
Mhm.
you've got a bit of a grasp about what I'm about and what, you know,
Right.
but I'm quite knowledgeable obviously in different matters. So
Mhm.
um I can talk a
This
lot about
was
like the Kabbalah
really
or
bridging from like I'm telling you, this has been great. But then now we could definitely you got some areas I would
all
love to
right.
hear about.
So you've been happy with this interview then. That's good. Thank
Absolutely.
yeah, because you know, I was with a taxi driver yesterday and he said, this is the most exciting taxi ride I've ever given. That's
Oh
what you said
wow.
to me.
You're
Yeah. I
Mr.
thought, wow.
Toad's Wild Ride, I call
Because I just
it.
once I said, well, you know, this is I can't. I obviously just only have one speed. I just tell it as it is, don't I suppose?
You're very
So,
I've never been it is so wonderful to meet you. It is so wonderful to meet you.
oh, brilliant! I'm so glad about that. Um, but yeah, we'll do it again, and
Mm.
it's been great to meet you too. But you're
Oh,
making me
wonderful.
laugh. You
I know.
You've
I
got
know.
that
I'm
way
like
about
sitting
you.
here, I'm
You've got
like,
a
"Oh
very good
god, here
sense
we
of
go."
you've got an excellent sense of humor. But the thing is, we're laughing, but I mean, some of these experiences, you know, have left me very scared, you know.
I know.
Um,
You
but
gotta reset it at a place of laughter. That's the only thing I know. But it
I think
works.
they know that.
Yes.
Then they know we are. You know, you've got to have a certain. The last thing they want to do is ruin you. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because
Because
they're
they still
peaceful.
need you. They just
And
wanna
they're
weaken
peaceful.
you. They wanna bring you down to your knees, and like you said before, you gotta get up and go.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, there's tests. I mean, they need to know you can take it, sort of thing, and that's part of what it is, isn't it? So,
Oh, wow.
anyway,
It's been a pleasure. Yes, I'll let this has been wonderful. But yeah, again, I'll
I'm
talk to you soon. I'll reach out after this. I have
definitely,
to.
and
Yeah,
I'd like to thank the audience, anyone who's watching. Thank you so much for putting up with
absolutely.
me
Yeah,
for
they're
this.
wonderful. No, these. I'm telling you, these are the best people in the world. We were very selective. We get them out if something's
Yeah,
happening. Like I create. This is a safe
yeah,
space, and everybody's
yeah,
different and unique, but they are awesome. They really are.
yeah. But I don't want to come across as a Mr. Know-all. You know, if I'm wrong about anything and I see you at a conference, I'll buy the beers. But you know, I don't
Right.
think I am wrong about some things.
Mm-mm. I say the
Yeah,
same
I've
thing.
got a few
Right.
good pieces of the jigsaw what I've seen, and you know, and there's more. I'll tell you more next time.
Oh, till next
There's
time
always
then.
more.
There's always more. Yeah, I look forward to it. And we'll let you get going.
Well,
But yes,
like the
again,
mediums
thank you
told me,
so much.
a piece at a time. Um, you know,
Pull it
that's what
closer.
they said. Okay,
That's awesome. It's been wonderful. Yeah. And I'll reach out and talk to you soon. This is awesome.
brilliant.
Thank you. Yes. So today has been, I know I really got into that conversation. A lot of this is like, it's strange. So I'll leave it at this. Thank you for taking the journey into the unknown. Oh, Popsia. I think it probably wants to tell you about the panel on Monday. We can't hear you, Pops. Your audio is not working. Remember to tune in for Pop's cryptid panel. We have the Sisters of the Moon, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday. Definitely tune in. It's going to be an amazing panel. Lori Ladd, Cindy Bailey, and of course, Pop's scripted panel. Thank you. I don't know where he is. I don't know. His audio must not be working. And then Tuesday, that's with the Sisters of the Moon. And then Tuesday, we will be back for Pop and Coley's Town Hall. So we got some great guests. Look forward to it. I'm not sure, Gary, if you can we couldn't hear you, Gary, but if you want to put the time in there or whatever, and just, yes, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on Monday and Tuesday we'll announce it. I don't know if Gary, I don't think your audio is working before. It's Father's Day? Oh, Is it Father's Day? Happy Father's Day. I didn't know it was. Ooh, I guess I'll be calling my dad after this. So, is it Father's Day, Pops? We can't hear you. I don't think your audio is working. I'll assume he's right on. Is it Father's Day? It's Father's Day, I guess. Okay. Yeah, I don't know either. But thank you for taking the journey into the unknown. I'm Coley, also known as ColeyUFO. And yeah, we're definitely calling it a day. So see you next time. Maybe see you next time. We're really calling it a day here. Oh, there we go.